Let us embark on this journey together and make the most out of the opportunities that lie ahead. Today, we are gathered here to participate in Transcending Conversations, a talk show and panel discussion on transgender issues. The event guarantees to create awareness about the challenges faced by the transgender community and to highlight the importance of equal rights and opportunities for all individuals. So now I request all the dignitaries to occupy the seats on the dais. Please advocate Padma Lakshmi, ma'am, can you please? Similarly, Dr. Akkai Padmashali, ma'am. Dr. Sundeep Vijayaraghavan, sir. K. Prithika Yashini, ma'am. Miss Rekshida, ma'am. Dr. Bhavani Rao, ma'am. Light is a prominent symbol of illumination and opulence. The ceremonial lighting of the lamp therefore signifies a triumph of wisdom over ignorance and the ascendancy of righteousness over malice. Hence, let us take a moment to gather ourselves and attune our hearts and minds for this auspicious occasion. For seeking the choicest blessings, I invite our admirable guests to kindle the lamp. I also welcome Balakrishnan sir.
ध्यायामोदबलावकुण्डनवतीं तेजोमयीं नैष्टिकीं स्निग्धां पाङ्गविलोकिनीं भगवतीं मन्दस्मितश्रीमुखी वात्सल्यामृतवर्षिणीं सुमधुरं सङ्कीर्तनालापिनी श्यामाङ्गी मधुसिक्तसूक्तिम् अमृतानन्दात्मिकामीश्वरी ॐ अमृतेश्वरी नमः 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 ॐ अमृतेश्वरी नमः.
Thank you, everyone. May the light that we have lit today guide us towards a path of truth, knowledge, and wisdom. To welcome is to give honor. To welcome is to establish integrity. I hereby request Aishwarya Ravi from S to MSW to deliver the welcome address.
Namashivaya and good morning one and all. It is with great pleasure that Amrita Vidyapeetham, Amritapuri Campus, extend to you a warm welcome to be a part of Transcending Conversations, a program dedicated to exploring the experiences of transgender individuals and fostering great understanding and empathy in our communities. This event is hosted as a side event under the Civil 20 C20 working group on gender equality and disability, and as part of a national level Multifest of Campus VIDYUT 2023. VIDYUT 2023 embraces the theme You Are the Line. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Akkai Padmashali, one of the esteemed panelists at Transcending Conversations, a talk show and panel discussion on transgender issues. Akkai Padmashali is a respected transgender rights activist who has dedicated her life to fighting for equality and justice for marginalized communities. Her insights and experiences are sure to make this event both enlightening and engaging. Welcome, ma'am. I would also like to welcome Rakshita ma'am, the secretary to Dr. Akkai Padmashali. Rakshita is a male to female transgender activist, board member of Honorary Organization and director of Study Circle Group on Gender and Sexuality in Bangalore. She is also an executive officer in Amazon. Welcome, ma'am. Next, I would like to introduce Prithika Yashini, an individual who has broken barriers and defied social norms to become India's first transgender police officer. Yashini's appointment as a sub-inspector of police in Tamil Nadu in 2015 was a historic moment for the transgender community, as it marked the first time transgender individual was given a government job in India. Her journey was not an easy one, as she faced numerous obstacles and discrimination along the way. But Yashini's determination and perseverance paid off, and she proved that nothing can hold back an individual who is determined to succeed. Welcome, ma'am. Our next panelist needs no introduction. She is Padma Lakshmi, Kerala's first transgender advocate. A fierce fighter for transgender rights, Padma has dedicated her life to advocating for transgender individuals and promoting awareness and acceptance of the community. She is a legal expert and has fought numerous legal battles to secure the rights of transgender community. It is an honor to have Padma join us today for Transcending Conversations. Her unique perspective and valuable insights will undoubtedly contribute to a thought-provoking discussion. Please join me in welcoming Padma Lakshmi. Our next panelist is Dr. Sundeep Vijayaraghavan, a renowned doctor at AIIMS, Cochin, who has done numerous gender affirmation surgeries. Dr. Sundeep is a leading expert in the field of gender reassignment surgery and has performed over 500 surgeries to date. He is also a vocal advocate for the rights of transgender people and has been involved in many initiatives aimed at improving their access to healthcare. Dr. Sundeep's expertise and dedication to the cause have earned him the respect and admiration of many in the medical community and beyond. Welcome, sir. Before we begin, I would like to introduce our esteemed moderator for today's session, Dr. Bhavani Rao. Dr. Rao is India's UNESCO Chair on Gender Equality and Women Empowerment. She is the leading authority on gender and human rights issues. With a wealth of experience in advocacy, research and education, she has worked tirelessly to promote social justice and equality for marginalized communities, and her contributions have been recognized both nationally and internationally. As a moderator, Dr. Rao will play a crucial role in facilitating today's discussion and ensuring that all voices are heard. We are honored to have her with us today, and we look forward to a productive and enlightening conversation. Welcome, ma'am. Last but not least, I would like to welcome Professor Balakrishnan Shankar, the Dean of School of Engineering, Professor Narayanankutti Karupat, Principal of School of Arts and Science, and also Dr. Jyoti N.S., Associate Dean of School of Engineering, to the event. I'm delighted to see our esteemed panelists, moderator, faculty members, and students here with us today as we embark on this important conversation. We recognize that issues of gender identity and expression are deeply personal and often challenging, and we aim to create a space where all participants feel heard, respected, and valued. Throughout today's program, we will hear from a diverse group of individuals who will share their stories, insights, and perspectives on what it means to be transgender in today's society. We will explore topics such as discrimination, violence, healthcare access, and legal barriers, and we will discuss how we can work together to promote greater equity and inclusion for all. As we engage in these conversations, we encourage everyone to approach the discussion with an open mind and heart, and to listen thoughtfully to the experiences of others. It is my great pleasure and honor to welcome you all to this event. Whether you are joining us in person or virtually, we are delighted to have you here with us today. Thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to a meaningful and transformative program. Thank you.
Now, I welcome Advocate Padma Lakshmi, Kerala's first transgender advocate, to address the gathering.
Padma Lakshmi is the first transgender woman to register with the Kerala Bar Council and hopes to pass the judicial service in the future. As the first transgender attorney in Kerala, she wants to use her platform to advocate for the voiceless. Kerala's Minister for Industries and Law congratulated Lakshmi for breaking barriers and becoming the state's first transgender attorney, cementing her place in legal history. She believes that strict laws and their enforcement are necessary to eliminate discrimination against transgender people. To fund her education and medical expenses, she worked as an agent for a private insurance company and LIC and provided home tutoring. After earning her degree in physics, she enrolled at Ernakulam Government Law College to pursue an LLB and recently completed it. Padma Lakshmi is the first transgender woman to register with the Kerala Bar Council and hopes to pass the judicial service in the future. As the first transgender attorney in Kerala, she wants to use her platform to advocate for the voiceless. Kerala's Minister for Industries and Law congratulated Lakshmi for breaking barriers and becoming the state's first transgender attorney, cementing her place in legal history. She believes that strict laws and their enforcement are necessary to eliminate discrimination against transgender people. To fund her education and medical expenses, she worked as an agent for a private insurance company and LIC and provided home tutoring. After earning her degree in physics, she enrolled at Ernakulam Government Law College to pursue an LLB and recently completed it.
And also, I'm very happy.
Padma Lakshmi.
I'm the Padma Lakshmi from I'm the practicing lawyer in Kerala High Court. First of all, I tell a little story. A transgender woman has joined as a advocate trainee from 2022 November onwards. After that, she got enrolled in March 19, 2023. After the 1 week, she got a termination letter. In that termination letter specified that she's the celebrity. She got lots of the favors from the senior. She's not obeying such kind of allegations that letters is mocking. That transgender person, the name is Advocate Padma Lakshmi. That's me. And after 2 days, when I got that letter, I'm so sad because I don't know. Just a budding lawyer, within 1 week, what is the next? How to practice in the Kerala High Court? I'm totally confused. But actually, within 2 days, I filed my own case, my own file, before the Honorable High Court, before the Honorable the Justice, the Revisar. The matters, the Sarfasi, I got a stay from my Honorable High Court. So, recently I engaged in the 10 and the more cases, and also the acid attempt victim case as a de facto complainant. So I'm happy because I fight. Within 1 week, I become an independent lawyer. Because the main reason is the circumstances. I'm not ready to compromise my circumstances. I'm not ready to accept the discrimination. I'm not allowed to win the poison's mind people having the discrimination. So definitely I will fight. The two words I have to add in this section. It's about the same-sex marriage. Recently, actually, this case is under the Supreme Court, and our honorable the senior advocate, the Mughal Dorki sir, as an argument, is a very interesting argument. Some important arguments I wish to say in this occasion, and also some the general neutral laws issues also I wish to add this occasion. Actually, first of all, the extremely and unfortunate Indian laws is the perception of the rapist only is based on the belief that victim of the rape has to be a woman. The belief is completely shocks out the fact of the men and transgender people are also subjected to rape, as well as a physical assault, and does not give the equal importance to the rapes and sexual assaults of the men and transgender people and compared to sexual assault of the rape of a woman. The Transgender Protection Bill came in 2019. The final chapter, and the section 18, clause D, perfectly states that any person, any transgender person is facing the physical, mental, or any types of harassment, only the punishment is 6 months to 2 years. At that time, at the same time, a woman is facing the sexual assault, outraging the modesty of the woman, section 354B(a), and stalking, section 354B, and voyeurism, section 354C. Such kinds of laws is not applicable to the trans peoples. This is a perfect, the fundamental right violation. Because as an advocate, I tell this the truth from my heart. It's a very, I feel so shame. Because it's a perfect fundamental right violation, Article 14 violation, Article 14, 15 and 21 violation. From the chapter 8 clause D and the section 354, with the subsection also, this is a perfect violation of laws, the fundamental right violations. At the same time, the lack of the general neutrality is evident, and it is to be noted that the punishment of such a heinous crime, the trauma is each human being has facing the trauma, the non-discrimination. Each people has any person is facing the rape or any kind of the sexual assault. This person is facing the trauma. Such traumas has no such trauma is very the pathetic the condition. So based on that trauma, how can people can the discriminate based on the section? I'm totally confused. So there is no reason for which men and transgender people cannot be subjected to rape or sexual assault. Similarly, the precedent from some landmark cases is also I will discuss in later from the respected the moderator, the Bhavani ma'am will ask. I think I concluded my words. Anyway, I'm concluding my speech.
Thank you, ma'am. You stand as an example of relentless perseverance here. Overcoming all the hurdles in your life, you have carved a path for yourself and many others. You have become a voice of the transgender community. We're sure that your story will continue to inspire many others. Thank you once again. So now I invite Dr. Akkai Padmashali to address the gathering and to share the story of her
Akkai
life.
Padmashali's childhood was marked by hardship, persistence, and strength to overcome social stigma. She worked as a sex worker while her parents believed she had a corporate job, attempted suicide twice at age 12, and faced questioning and torment throughout her life. Despite these challenges, she achieved significant accomplishments. She was invited by the President to attend the Chief Justice of India's swearing-in ceremony, founded the organization Ondide to raise awareness about sexual diversity and the right to choose one's sexual identity, and spoke at the International Bar Association Conference in Tokyo in 2014. She was also the first Indian transgender woman to obtain a driving license with her gender listed as female. Today, she is a respected transgender rights activist and household name in Bangalore. Akkai Padmashali's childhood was marked by hardship, persistence, and strength to overcome social stigma. She worked as a sex worker while her parents believed she had a corporate job, attempted suicide twice at age 12, and faced questioning and torment throughout her life. Despite these challenges, she achieved significant accomplishments. She was invited.
Her Highness, Her Excellency, Mata Srimati Amritanandamayi, dear human beings, distinguished human beings and friends who attended this gathering. I have no words to speak. This stage and a situation need to fight to occupy spaces, positions, for not compromising our identities and sexualities. And we don't want to compromise our identity and sexuality. We sit as equals before you. You sit equal before us. This is called the humanity of 21st century shall speak the politics of identity and sexuality. Thank you, Professor, for moderating our session. I would really see my journey on brief on the screen. Be it Prithika, be it Padma Lakshmi, be it Akkai, be it Rakshita, and many my crores and crores of friends who are in this earth, who are struggling and challenging from all its section and sector of society for two reasons. One, because of your gender identity. Number two, because of your sexual orientation. How can a system of state, how can a system of justice, how can a system of society, how can a system of patriarchy, how can a system of matriarchy, how can a system of so-called social justice can exclude people on the grounds of these two reasons? And I don't have an answer. I have come here to find my answer. Because being in the streets as sex workers, as beggars, and from something called so privileged people from privileged background, we sit here today. We are talking today on the importance of transcending conversations for what? Transcending conversation for tomorrow's world to be nurtured and nudged, for the importance of upholding the constitutional morality, speaking the importance of humanity and social justice. I think coming back from my background, being on the streets as sex worker to beggar, and today I feel so proud I belong to the largest democracy, and this is my world. I enjoy my identity. I enjoy my sexuality. Dear moderator, I would want to really emphasize two things, and I want to come back to my seat and then I want to have this conversation in my panel discussion. 1. 25 years ago, the system of majoritarian and the system of totalitarian had excluded us, and still the concept of majoritarian and a totalitarian is still judging our identities and sexualities. I want to question back the state of majoritarian. I want to question back the state of totalitarian. Who are you to judge? On what grounds you have the power to judge our identities? It's a big question. I have not still found an answer to this question. Number 2, 25 years ago, when we was beaten up, scrutinized, killed, assassinated, brutally beaten up from across systems and society that we were being as examples in society. I remember Kerala is something called the progressive state, but my people were killed. Every month there are kills, the killings are happening. Where is justice? The southern part of India is so extremism. How do we address? The whole country as a nation, which is so difficult for us to digest. Even the utmost Supreme Court verdicts are in favor of the movement of community, and bringing back the whole agenda of how can a system of justice, how can a system of judicial process can say that you are a criminal, you are a decriminal, you are a recriminal, and you are no more a criminal. How can a system of justice can play like this against one community? My Supreme Court of India has delivered series of verdicts. 2009, it said consensual sex between adults in privacy is not punishable. Lakhs and crores of people, we came on the streets to celebrate our freedom, to celebrate our identities and sexualities. 2013, my Supreme Court of 11, 12, 13 judgment said, we are overturning the Delhi High Court judgment and we are making you as recriminals. The 2014 Honorable Supreme Court, the Nalsa Award judgment said, we are equal citizens before the Constitution of India, which has given feathers to fight for our rights. And now the 2018 World Supreme Court Constitution Bench has said, we will not belong to the no more criminal community. And now, the marriage equality petition. When we are here to be part of the so-called mainstreaming society, to enjoy my liberty of rights, to enjoy my justice, to enjoy my fraternity of this constitution guaranteed. Today, my own government of India is opposing. No, we cannot support the marriage equality for sexual minorities. This is something called shames India. When the Supreme Court in the judiciary has recognized at the utmost level, when the state of legislature is not supporting, that is something that disappoints me today. So now, where is my justice? I stand on the floor of Her Highness to speak about this, to express our concerns, to express our challenges, to express our struggles. Struggle is not just a full stop, it's a comma. The whole society is in its fraternity of taking the liberty of people to judge on the grounds of your caste, your class, your religion, your sexuality, your gender, your background, your language, your class, your food, your wearing, and many other stuffs of it. I think the 21st century is supposed to be the inclusive world, but we are really seeing that the hurdles are commas and there is no full stop. I want to stop here, moderator, and I want to flow this as part of my panel discussion. Thank you so much. Ningala paathe Rambo Santosha Ai. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Your fight for inclusivity and equality has become fruitful in breaking the various stigmas in our society. Your words have undoubtedly moved each one of us. They are not just small steps, but definitely big ones in this long journey. Thanking you once again, ma'am. Now, I would like to request Dr. Sundeep Vijayaraghavan to share his insightful experiences with transgender community.
Dr. Sundeep Vijayaraghavan, a plastic surgeon, has presented several papers at various national and international conferences. His research has earned him several accolades, including the McNeil Prize for the Best Audiovisual Presentation at the National Plastic Surgery Conference in New Delhi. He received this award for his paper on facial contour correction using flaps. In addition, He won the Best Paper Award at the Kerala Plastic Surgery Conference 2013 for his research on hip reconstruction, and another Best Paper Award at the South Indian Plastic Surgery Conference held in Trivandrum. Dr. Vijayaraghavan's research demonstrates his expertise and dedication to the field of plastic surgery. Dr. Sundeep
Om Amriteshwari Namaha. At the outset, let me thank the organizers for inviting me to this August gathering with all the fellow panelists. It's an honor to be here, standing in front of all the young crowd also, and be part of this panel. So, just briefly, I was supposed to talk briefly about myself over here, I think. So, I did my MCH plastic surgery from Kottayam Medical College, which I'm very proud of. I finished my plastic surgery in the year 2004. Why Kottayam Medical College I'm proud of is because that's the first government medical college to have a transgender clinic. It's the first college to have a transgender college in a clinic in the country, right? And so I joined Amrita in year 2000, and now in 2017 we had a strange situation. We had a person coming to us requesting us for surgery. She was having severe gender dysphoria, and she said, "You have to do something for me." I said, "See, we have never done a procedure like this. We have not attempted something like this." But she was very particular that we have to do that. So then I spoke to people in Delhi who were actually doing these kind of surgeries for some time, got their advice, did the reading, did the research, and then we went and did the procedure for her. And the good thing is that she is now a big model in the trans community, and then she's a big advocate for transgenderism also, and she's very active in social media and is always there with them. And that is how our journey started in 2017. You know that in 2014 is the first time in India that they have accepted the NALSA judgment, like Akkai said, no, that changed the way people see transgenders. And 2018 again it was upheld. Article 377 was condemned to the dustbins of history. And following which, again, many more people started coming forward, and then we seriously thought of having a transgender clinic at Amrita. So after performing many surgeries over there, we had a full-fledged team, which was including plastic surgeons, urologists, gynecologists, GI surgeons, dermatologists, psychiatrists, psychologists, medical social workers, etc. At Amrita, when people were finding it difficult in the trans community, when people were finding it difficult to get jobs, we had actually offered 8 positions for trans community people over there. This was way before things were jobs are freely available. And at this time, I would really wish that one special person was here. She is Brahmacharini Maya. She is no longer with us. She's passed away. So she was a guiding person. She was a person who took it on herself to offer the jobs. Of course, after going, we both of us went, met Amma several times and discussed with her, and then what sort of jobs to give, etc. we discussed, and then that is how the system started over there, giving jobs over there. Then we had a trans man who had a surgery at Amrita itself, Dev. He was with us. He was trained in urology and urology assistant. He became a urology assistant over. He was working with us till a few months back. Now he has moved on, and so we are very proud that we were able to offer jobs as well as include all of them in our what do you call for that? Our society, our brotherhood in the hospital. Again, coming to the surgical aspects, being a surgeon, I would be able to tell only surgical aspects. At Amrita, after a lot of discussions, I'll just tell you a simple example. Say, suppose a trans person comes for getting a breast augmentation done. Usually we do it with breast implants. Okay? And the cost of a pair of breast implants, the MRP, the retail price of a cost of a breast implant comes to around 1.2 lakhs. That's a price of the breast implants alone, let alone the surgery, anesthesia, rest of the things. But at Amrita, we are able to offer the whole procedure for a lakh of rupees. I know it is not, we can do much more about it, but then being a institution where we have to actually think of the revenues also to this one, no, I think it is a big thing, big step forward. Second thing is that most of the things, because Kerala government offer money for the transition for transgenders. The government of Kerala offers 2.5 lakhs for trans women and 4.5 lakhs for trans men. And what we have tried to do is that we have tried to include all the expenses within this amount so that there is no burden for the trans community. So that is something which we were very happy that we were able to do. Of course, we are actually having a very sensitive or rather a very sensitized staff also in the hospital, be it the OPDs, be it the ICUs or the wards also, where the people in the community are very happy to be there. They do not get any discrimination over there. Having said that, I think I'll stop at that. This is a small brief introduction of that. I would also like to tell you that in the last week, you saw some of the very last week, we had the Kerala Plastic Surgery Association's state conference. So the best paper award for the postgraduates was for a lady from our department. She is actually working in our department. Her name is Sharika Chandran, and she got the award for the cases of facial feminization surgeries that were performed for transgenders. She has done a study on that and she got the best paper for that. So actually we are trying to promote this also. And in addition to that, we get a lot of people who are coming to our institution from the other hospitals, especially the government hospitals, and we try to teach them and try to educate them of how the surgeries and all can be done. So from our part, as a surgeon, we try to actually help out, and I believe that the most important group of people who should be doing transgender work is the surgeons in government medical colleges, because it's from there that the young doctors are going to come out, and it's they who have to actually keep doing it, and it becomes freely available for all the transgenders, and the cost also significantly comes down with that. Thank you very much for this.
Gratitude to you, sir, for facilitating numerous gender reassignment surgeries and for supporting the transgender community. Thanking you, sir. Now, I invite K. Prithika Yashini. Ma'am, we would love to listen to your challenging yet inspiring journey of becoming the first transgender policewoman in India.
Yashni began her career as a warden in a women's hostel in Chennai. Despite her application for a Tamil Nadu sub-inspector of police position being initially rejected due to not belonging to the specified male or female categories, she challenged the decision in court. After passing a written test and physical endurance tests, the Madras High Court ordered the Tamil Nadu Uniformed Services Recruitment Board to appoint her as a sub-inspector and include a third category for transgender individuals. She received her appointment in April 2017 and has since served as a sub-inspector of police at B2 Police Station, Anasalai, receiving recognition as the first third-gender police officer with an Icon of Inspiration Award from Behind Woods in 2019. Yashni began her career
born and brought up from Salem. So, let me take you through my struggles and hardships in this journey. In 2014, Supreme Court had passed a judgment that a transgender should be recognized as a third gender. So my question is the transgender recognized as a third gender, which one is first gender and which one is second gender? Is it? So according to Indian Article 14 says so all are equal, right? So I request you all to respect all trans women and trans men. Please treat them as a normal human being. That's enough. Like all trans women go through a lot of problems and struggles. I have also been throughout the journey. I have crossed many obstacles in my personal life for who I am now. In school days, I have been bullied and harassed by my own classmates for my nature. This didn't end here. It continued even in my college days also. During this period, I met a trans woman who explained what is the nature of a transgender because of the problems I faced in my college. I had to discontinue my education and decided to run away from my family to transform myself as a woman. I approached a set of trans women to help me with this process. But they denied to accept for the two reasons. So first of all, my studies, and second reason that I have not made my family aware of who I wish to be. So, which could be a police case for the people who could help me. I had no other option left. So, I had returned back to home. Actually, I had so many thinkings running on my mind. Because how would my family react if I would share my nature with them? After a lot of hesitation, in the end, I have shared my intention of changing my gender. It was very hard and shocking for them to accept me. They became a very emotional and tried every way to not let me change my gender. First, they approached, consulted with the astrologer, and he stated that he was affected by an evil spirit. So, and he suggested my parents various remedies to visit many temples and conduct different pujas. While returning from the temple, we met in with an accident as well, but fortunately no one was injured. So my parents again consulted with the astrologers. Again he told that conduct one more different puja. And not only temples, they had taken me to dargah and churches as well. After all these efforts taken by parents, I was very stayed and stable mind in decision to change my gender. They didn't stop there. The next step they took was to consult a therapist. The first psychiatrist advised my parents that there is no medical treatment for this. The second psychiatrist prescribed me a few medicines and it affected my sleep cycle. I was awake for almost a week and made my condition worse. After all this, I was sent to a psychologist for counseling. I had been there for almost a month. Due to frequent visits, my parents had thought that the psychologist could change my child, but in reality, I was the one who was explaining the life cycle of transgenders, trans women of the doctor. Then there was a seminar conducted for a group of doctors about the transition from man to woman. He took an advantage of my situation and I felt very guilt and embarrassed to present in the seminar. Only then my parents realized that the doctor had used my child for his knowledge on transgender transformation. Later, the doctor had referred to me, Rajiv Gandhi Hospital in Chennai. The doctors there were advised my parents to take me to the Institute of Mental Health, Kilpak. Once I entered the campus, I saw a lot of mentally disturbed people who were screaming, running from one place to another place, hurting themselves and others, etc., etc. So when I witnessed one situation, I started to tremble and shiver in fear. I had to keep myself strong enough and to know don't lose hope during these hardships. The doctor asked me to get admitted in the hospital and I have agreed to them. After 5 years, the doctor had started a conversation with me and I had politely requested the doctor that the ambience here is affecting me and I would cooperate whenever the doctor asked me to visit for the counseling, and he accepted for the request. The counseling was almost for 6 months. During the counseling, there were many tests conducted, then therapies were also given. In the end, doctor had told that it is in my hands to decide what I want to be. I went through all this struggle only to make my parents understand that who I am. But they never understood me, and I felt I left my home. While traveling to Chennai, a lot of thoughts were running on my mind, and how I am going to survey, because I have only 250 rupees only that time, what job I am going to work on, how I am going to complete my feminine transition, and much more. So I had few friends who were trans women in Chennai, with whom I had stayed initially and learned a lot of things to change my transition. I had to save money, so I had to work as a warden, field officer, saleswoman, and etc. etc. There were days I had to sleep without proper food and dress and shelter and place also. During these difficulties I tried to attempt suicide several times, but something stopped me within, that there is a purpose for me to live and inspire the upcoming people. So I wanted to change the opinion in the minds of the people is that trans women are not only mean for prostitution and begging. And I wanted to change that perspective so that I could be role model or ideal in my community. In 2015 February, I saw an advertisement in the newspaper that there is a job opportunity for the sub-inspector posting. So I got an idea, why can't I apply for it, as I had degree as well. After that I applied and I got rejected based on my birth name and my gender. Within a week, when the hall ticket could be received, I got to know that my hall ticket got rejected due to this reason. With the help of an advocate, I had filed a case on Wednesday for upcoming the exam on Sunday. I received the judgment only by Saturday to attend the exam. The judgment had ordered that we could not be discriminated based on my birth name and gender. So I was eligible to write the exam. Imagine how would I have felt within those days until I received the judgment. I had go through a lot of struggles in those few days, and I was in dilemma whether I would be able to write the exam or not. Finally, at the end, I had written the exam successfully. After 1 month, I got the result, and once again I was rejected because of not allocating a cutoff mark for transgenders. There is a quota for community, gender, sports and deportment, but why is there no quota for transgender? So I had filed another case where I had scored more than the minority people eligibility. So basically where there is not much guidelines for transgender, why can't they allow me for the next physical examination? I got the judgment that I could attend the next physical examination. The difficulties doesn't end here. There was another challenge which I had to face in the physical exam. In the physical exam, there was a 400 meter long jump and throw ball and finally 100 meter. I had cleared everything except 100 meters. At this moment, I had realized the value of time. Because of 100 meters should be crossed in 17.5 seconds, but I had crossed in 18.5 seconds. So in just a second, they had again rejecting me. So once again, I had filed a case that video should be checked or there should be retest. I didn't expect such a judgment from the court. Based on mercy, I was allowed for the next stage of interview, and finally I had cleared the interview as well. With a strong motive, TNUSRB, Tamil Nadu Uniform Service Recruitment Board, was very clear on rejecting me, but I was stronger than TNUSRB that I should enter the police force. The next stage was medical examination, where especially for me, they had conducted additional tests. The results were normal, and the final judgment received on 2015 November from the Honorable Judge Sanjay Kishan Gaul that Prithika Yashini is eligible for working in the police force. TNUSRB should not reject her on any basis. And the court believes that I will be the role model for the upcoming transgenders. After receiving the judgment, I was the happiest person in the world. Like Khajni Muhammad, who tried 17 times to conquer success, I had tried to 5 times to be successful in becoming a what I want. Not only that, I have faced more struggle other than this. After my case, TNUSRB had brought another option in gender column for transgenders. Why do you think I have gone through all these battles and struggles in my life? My true success is not only becoming the first trans woman police officer in India, but after me, there are 10 other trans women who got an opportunity to work in the police force. So that is my true success. Not only in the police force, I request all the higher officials in all the files to consider to give a chance for transgenders. Actually, I have shared only 20% of struggles as a trans woman I had faced to overcome the barrier and break the stereotype that we transgenders can also succeed anything in life. If I had to let you know about all my struggles, it would at least take a day to explain. So imagine how difficult it's for us to survey in the society. So I went through all these struggles so that there is a reservation for the transgenders community in the future. The reservation given to the transgenders in the MPC community, the MPC community includes men and women and transgenders. The reservation could be allotted to everyone, but the reservation should be fit their needs. So what I'm trying to conclude is that there should be a separate horizontal reservation for the transgenders community. So, mean that like what is the difference between equality and equity? So equality is giving everyone shoe, but equity is giving everyone shoes that should be fit for them. So that is called equity. So generation by generation, we have been struggling to bring awareness about the transgenders' rights to live in the society. Whenever you come across a transgender, do not ask them illogical questions like, why did you choose to become a woman or man from biological birth? It hurts the same way like how it would hurt if I ask you illogical questions like, why are you not married yet? Or why don't you have kids? Or why have you done nothing in life? As these are balanced questions. So I request you all to stop asking such type of questions, and let's work together as a society to bring in the best from each one of us. The frequent questions I have received from a lot of people is that why did I choose the police force? For example, IAS, IFRS, IRS or any other high officials departments do not have a uniform to represent themselves. I choose the police enforcement because I want to be unique in the police uniform to be apart from the crowd. Being a trans woman, I had to go through all these struggles to achieve my dream. You all are so blessed and lucky to have a family, shelter, food, and waking up the next day. Let's all thankful for what we have in life. So never give up and fight for your dreams until you achieve it. Individual self-transcendence collectively inspires humanity at large. Every individual's effort when clapped together makes us a huge difference. So finally I conclude, umbrella cannot stop the rain, but makes us stand in the rain. Confidence may not bring success, but give us power to face any challenging in life. Nani.
Thank you, ma'am. That was indeed a tale of struggle and victory. Your challenging journey of achieving a next to impossible goal has inspired each one of us. We hope the burning fire within you will kindle flames in many. Now, I request Ms. Rakshadar, Secretary to Dr. Akkai Padmashali, to share her views and experiences.
Okay, I'm audible. Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, I think feeling very boring. No, I can say hi. You can say hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hello. Attention, please. So first of all, I would like to thanks to Amrita University and Hama also as well. Thanks for this forum to bringing transgender issues and challenges to speak about today. Exactly what our folks spoken regarding the challenges and what are the problems they faced and what are the uh, demands they have put in front of us in the forum. The first thing I would like to talk about the our situations of the transgender community people. The majority of us we came across through the challenge of education, employment, and family acceptance. These are the three challenges still is going on. Still we are fighting on it. Of course, I can agree with that. At the same time, this is not easy things to share our story in front of you people actually, because the everyone has their own stories. The own stories is not easy things to come and share it here. We feel, we express, we address to understand between us. Of course, when we talk about the biologically we decide based on the genital part. Of course, but today I am very proud what I am. We should proud what we are. This is how we can take a challenge. And third things, I was noticing that what doctor was saying that doctor here I would like to tell challenge of if you take 5 years back nobody was allowing inside the clinic and hospital. Totally they were rejecting us. No, but if you're comparing after 5 years and now, there's a huge difference. Yes, after coming also judgment, lot of judgment has come. Judgment has kept only as a judgment. Still, I don't see any practicality. We are working with. We are working with that practicality. As I'm study circle group of gender and sexuality kind of sensitization, I'm taking kind of a 25 universities and 35 plus MNC company. I'm sensitizing them to understand our problems and I'm sensitizing them what is sex, gender and sexuality. When you guys coming very transparently about inclusion and diversity, then only we can bring something changes within the employment place. And the next education level, yes, of course, for university, I once again I would like to thanks to Hamma to understand about transgender community people, because you students are understanding the problematic. Tomorrow something you guys going to change the society. Today I don't see only your 100 people, I feel 1,000 people, I feel lakh people, I feel crore people, because something we believe that we're going to change the society. No? So at the same time, I will conclude with this speak, because however we go to this panel discussion, I don't like to go very formalities and making boring you guys also. Yeah. So concluding my speech, please, please, please be open your mind. Please ask open question. It should be anything. This is the forum the university created. Big applause to the university as well. Thank you so much. My name is Rakshita. I claim myself as a trans girl.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening words. Now let us move on to transcending conversations and enlightening and inspiring panel discussion on transgender issues. Padmashali, Advocate Padma Lakshmi, K. Prithika Yashini, Rakshida, and Dr. Sundeep Vijayaraghavan are here to share their insights and experiences on a range of topics related to gender equality and disability. Our panelists are recognized as trailblazers, activists, and thought leaders in their respective fields, and they bring a wealth of knowledge, expertise, and unique perspectives to this conversation. Before we begin, I would like to introduce our esteemed moderator for today's session, Dr. Bhavani Rao. Dr. Rao is a leading authority on gender and human rights issues with a wealth of experience in advocacy, research, and education. She has worked tirelessly to promote social justice and equality for marginalized communities, and her contributions have been recognized both nationally and internationally. As a moderator, Dr. Rao will play a critical role in facilitating today's discussion and ensuring that all voices are heard. We're honored to have her with us today, and we look forward to a productive and enlightening conversation.
Om Amriteshwari Namaha. Thanks for the double introduction. First, let's start with another round of applause for our wonderful speakers. Can we hear it? I don't mind some whistles also, if you can whistle. Can I hear it? Thank you. I don't know how to whistle, otherwise I would have whistled. Okay, so very warm welcome now to the second part of this conversation, which is a panel discussion. And we will have our esteemed speakers share their thoughts on some critical questions that I will ask. Again, the aim of this is to expand the conversations on the C20, but also to sensitize all of us to the challenges and the difficulties that are faced by our brothers and sisters. So these are the main two agenda items for the reasons why we are having this panel discussion. And I will also hopefully leave some time for questions from the audience. Okay, so like I said, this is the year for India to host the G20, and we're all proud of it. And as you know, Amma is the chair of the C20, which is the Civil Society 20. And it's under this umbrella that we're having these discussions, and as a part of the Gender Equality Working Group, that is actually hosted at Amrita University. We are having this particular thing. So it's important both in terms of sensitization, but also in terms of policy recommendations. The tagline for the C20 is "You are the light." It draws on all of us to be the change makers and to create that change that we want to see in the world. So the people here are all not just change makers, they are blazing change makers. But what we want to happen today is that their experience also makes us change makers in our life. So I want you to take that away from these conversations, each one of you personally, on how you can transform the world around you. So how can you be the light towards gender equality? This is what I would like the audience to take away. We're very lucky because we have Amma, right? And Amma basically shows us that she's like a living example of how to be equal to everybody, not just people, but also to all of creation, whether it's plants or animals. That sense of universal reverence comes from Amma. And we see that so closely in our daily lives. Those of us who are in this campus especially get to see that much more than other campuses within Amrita. And in so many ways, it is the ideal way of looking at it. It actually even transcends identity politics because it is beyond identity. It is that universality of consciousness that she sees, whether it's a human or it's a plant, or it is the river or the trees. And so it's that respect and reverence to all creatures that drives her every act, that drives all the institutions that she has built, the charitable activities and just everything that happens here at Amrita. So we have in front of us a wonderful role model, and therefore it is also our duty and our responsibility to take this, imbibe this value, and implement it in our daily lives, and have compassion as our driving force, and the universality of that. That universal consciousness is what we need to see in everybody. It is our mandate as faculty, as students of Amrita. That's where we need to go, because we have that role model, and there is no excuse for any one of us to be biased in any way, be it through ethnicity, through gender, through race, through culture, but even to other creatures and sentient and non-sentient that occupies this space that we live in. It is our responsibility, it is our duty, and I would like for us to bear that in mind when you are listening to these conversations. Open up your hearts with compassion, have empathy, to be able to relate to the difficulties and challenges, to be able to translate them into your life, and to be able to transform yourself, and how you can actually make the world a better place for everyone. Please bear this in mind as we go through the panel discussions. I just would like to share one story that I heard from the Ramayana. I thought it was a very beautiful story, because the presence of the transgender community, as we know, India is a very ancient culture. It's been there for thousands of years. And through our history, we have heard stories of the transgender people and the roles that they play. I mean, there are many, but I'll pick one that I like the best. So in the Ramayana, it says that when Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana were leaving Ayodhya to go into the forest, the entire crowd of Ayodhya followed them, because they were so sad that they were leaving. And they started walking, and as Rama reached the outskirts of Ayodhya, he turned back and said, all the women and children, you please go back. Don't follow me anymore. And he kept walking. Still he reaches the bank of the Sarayu, wherever he takes the boat, right? So he's walking, and when he turns around, he finds that there is still a group of people following him. And those are the transgender people, because they said they're neither man nor woman. So you ask the men and women to go back. So we decided we're going to still follow you. And Rama was so touched by that he blessed the community. And he said, your word will be a word. Your blessing will be a blessing. Your curse will be a curse. And in that, he legitimized and he gave a position of great power to the entire transgender community. So there are so many instances of respect and reverence for the transgender community. There is no reason that now we should actually move back from that, and now that they should be in any way socially outcast. We have precedents in our culture to respect them. Right? Thank you. So many times, just reflecting also a few words on what was said, the struggles are tremendous. Let us never ask the question is, why can't they be any different? We know how difficult it is for them to be different in terms of finding a job. If they wanted to be a policeman, it's an uphill task. For you and me to be a policeman, it'll be much easier. So don't ever look at a transgender person and wonder why they're begging, because maybe we just did not create the opportunities for them not to do anything else. So it is everything that hurts them is our responsibility as a community. And that is the kind of attitude that we must have. And unless this transformation happens within each and every one of us, the laws that are implemented, the laws that are mandated, the policies that are recommended are not going to have an effect unless we become the change. And that's why I'm continuously re-emphasizing that, not just to you as students, because I'm not trying to be preachy, but also to myself. These are all things that we need to remember constantly. If we don't, these changes are not going to happen. So with that, going back, I'm going to ask my first question. And I think I'm going to... This is a loaded question. Let me ask you first a simple question, and then I will ask you a more detailed question. Prithika, I know you've gone through so much of difficulties, but I want to ask you, who was the light in your life? Were there people at any point of time when you were really low? You said you came close to suicide a couple of... Was there anybody in your life who stepped in at a critical moment and helped you move forward? And what was that like? The reason I'm asking is so that we can also be lights in other people's life. So can you just reflect on the lights in your life?
ஓகே ஸோ ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி வந்து எல்லாருக்கும் கிடைச்சிறது கிடையாது ஈஸியாக. ஸோ ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப ஒரு இம்பார்ட்டண்டான ஒரு விஷயம். என்னுடைய கேஸில் பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் ஆக்சுவலி 2014 ஹேப்பன் 2014 எஸ். என்னுடைய அட்வொகேட் ஹீஸ் நேம்ஸ் சஞ்சய் அண்ட் பவானி சுப்ராயன் மேம். ஸோ அவங்க 2 பேரும் தான் என்னுடைய வாழ்க்கையில் லைட்னிங் பண்ணி வச்சாங்க. ஆக்சுவலி அப்படின்னா வித்தவுட் பைசா எனி ஃபீஸ் ஒரு ரூபா கூட வந்து எனக்காக என்னோடய கேஸ்க்காக அவங்க வந்து வாங்கினதில்லை, பே பண்ணது கிடையாது. ஸோ எஸ், சிங்கிள் பைசா. ஸோ பவானி சுப்ராயன் மேம் அண்ட் சஞ்சீவ் சார் வித்தவுட் நாட் பாசிபிள். ஐம் ஃப்ரம் ஹியர். ஸோ ஹீ இஸ் த மை லைட்டனிங் பர்சன். ஸோ இந்த நேரத்தில் தட் மூமெண்ட் அவங்களுக்கு உண்மையிலேயே நான் ரொம்ப நன்றி சொல்ல கடமைப்பட்டிருக்கேன். எஸ்.
That was the icebreaker question. So now I'm going to give you the difficult question. So, ever since G20 started, not from the very beginning, but somewhere for a few months down back, I've been hearing very disturbing reports from Delhi, both from first hand and also through newspaper articles, that the Delhi police has been really cracking down on transgenders. They have been arresting them at the crossroads where the street lights are, and they're putting them in prison. They are not even able to walk out in daylight with any sense of safety because they want to clean up the roads from beggars. It's not just the transgenders. Basically, they're imprisoning all the beggars, but specifically targeted towards transgenders. You're a police woman, right? Suppose you were in Delhi and they had asked you to do this. Yeah? So I would like you to reflect how you would have actually tackled the situation, and if you have any advice to the government on how to deal with this better. Is there a better way to actually do it? Is anything, your thoughts on this particular problem is what I would like to ask you.
So you know that in generally, as some man who were begging that time, you can't go and ask them why you are begging. Some women are some places in working in a prostitution place, you are not going and seeing that woman, you didn't ask them why you are doing prostitute. But in generally, as a single trans woman இந்த விஷயம் பண்ணுறாங்க அப்படிங்கன்னா, ஸோ என்டையர்லி கம்யூனிட்டியை நம்ம அந்த பெர்ஸ்பெக்டிவில் பார்க்கக்கூடாது. தட்ஸ் அண்ட் ராங் திங் ஆக்சுவலி, ரைட்? ஸோ என்னுடைய விஷயத்தில் நான், அதாவது இந்த போஸ்டிங் வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் என்னுடைய கம்யூனிட்டிலையும் நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க. ஆக்சுவலி ஃபஸ்ட் டைம் நான் வந்தது இந்தியாவில், ஃபஸ்ட் டைம் வந்து கவர்மெண்ட் செக்டார் ஜாப்லேயே வந்து ஃபஸ்ட் டைம் வந்தது நான் தான். ஸோ எனக்கு அப்புறம் இன்றைக்கி, அதாவது நம்ம ஆல்ரெடி வந்து ஸ்பாயில்டான கம்யூனிட்டியை வந்துட்டு நம்ம ஓவர் கம் கொண்டு வரதுக்கு ரொம்ப வந்து டிஃபிகல்ட்டியான விஷயம். ஏன் அப்படின்னா, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் அவங்களுக்கு ப்ராப்பரான ஃபேமிலி சப்போர்ட், ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் சப்போர்ட், சொசைட்டி சப்போர்ட் they didn't have actually in reality life. So automatically they want to living with us a particular trans community. So most of the trans women community, they are following as a begging or prostitution only. So that time compulsory, there is a no option. They want to live in the society, they need basic needs. That's why they want money. So they just started to begging and prostitution. So that perspective என்னைக்கு சேஞ்ச் ஆகும் அப்படின்னா, என்னைக்கு இந்த பெர்ஸ்பெக்டிவ் மாறும் அப்படிங்கிறது, ஆல்ரெடி ஐ டோல்ட் தட். ஸோ ரிசர்வேஷன் இஸ் ஒன் ஆஃப் த இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் திங். ஸோ கல்வி, எஜுகேஷன் அண்ட் ஜாப், இட்ஸ் அவர் ரைட்ஸ். ஸோ மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த கவர்மெண்ட் they have preferred only right welfare only, okay, but we need our rights, okay. So the rights based on in reservation only. So we need dignity life. So that's why we are repeatedly telling that in the everywhere. So please initiate every government. Recently you know that the Karnataka government giving a 1% reservation for the job and education opportunity for the particularly trans people community. So that perspective should be changed in everything. So நாங்களும் இந்த சொசைட்டியோட இணைஞ்சு வர்றதுக்கு நல்ல ஒரு பாசிபிளான ஒரு சூழ்நிலை உருவாக்குங்கிறது. ஸோ அதனால தான் நாங்கள் என்ன சொல்கிறோன்னா, செப்பரேட் ரிசர்வேஷன் வேணும் ட்ரான்ஸ் கம்யூனிட்டிக்கு. நீங்கள் எங்களுடைய உரிமைகளை எல்லாத்தையுமே பறிச்சுட்டு, எங்களுடைய ரைட்ஸ் எல்லாத்தையுமே எடுத்துகிட்டு, நீங்கள் ஏன் இதை பண்ணுறீங்க? ஒய் ஆர் டூயிங் ப்ராஸ்டியூஷன், ஒய் ஆர் டூயிங் பெக்கிங், ஓகே. பட் மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த பர்சன் ஒன்லி வந்து வெல்ஃபேர் மட்டும் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணுறாங்க. எங்களுக்கு வெல்ஃபேர் தாண்டி எங்களுடைய ரைட்ஸ் கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா நாங்கள் எங்களுடைய லைஃப்பை டிக்னிட்டியாக வாழ்றதுக்கு என்ன விஷயங்கள் பண்ணுவோமோ அதை நாங்கள் பண்ணிட்டு போக போகிறோம். ஸோ வி நீட் ரெசர்வேஷன், செப்பரேட் ரெசர்வேஷன். ஸோ வித்தவுட் trans people, trans community, gender equality is not possible.
Absolutely. Thank you, Prithika ji.
Thank you so much.
And Prithika ji expressed about how it is important for them to have rights and education along with reservation, so that their options are not left only with the options of begging and sex work. So I'm going to turn that narrative around a little bit, twist it, and so that it is just to provoke the thought. And I'm going to address this maybe to Akkai. I'm not going to call Akkai because that sounds weird, but it's Akkai because your sister, older sister, Akkai ji. So I'm going to address this to you. It is also a slightly loaded question. There are many cultures that consider begging and prostitution as illegal, that needs to be under the carpet because they're evils in society. And especially for begging, there are also cultures that allow for begging. They have room for people who ask, and there are room for people who give. For example, the Islamic society, one of your mandates in the religion is to give in alms. And therefore, in front of mosques, you have people who are asking for alms, and then it is mandated in the religion that you have to give alms. Similarly, for the sadhus in India, they are mandated not to work because they are supposed to live off the alms that other people give you. It is not necessarily considered completely derogatory. But as culture has evolved, there is now the whole development conversation is about self-reliance and being, you can do things on your own, you don't depend on anybody. And therefore, the concept of begging is completely abhorrent. Like if you go to Western country, they will arrest you if you're begging. It is completely antisocial to beg. And this was not true of our cultures. We had rooms for begging, and it's not a profession, but there were people who were allowed to beg. Our mindset was very different. Our mindset has also changed quite drastically in the last few years. And so, Akkai, I would like you to reflect on that. Not just from the perspective, also from the perspective of the trans community. How do you balance the conflict? A lot of the people from the trans community are also a little bit rooted in tradition, especially in the north of India. The Hijra community, they are the ones who are either begging or blessing, they call it. So they go to, when people are born or people are sick, they go to bless a wedding or a newborn child. They also, it is a part of the culture of being a trans person in the north. And therefore, oftentimes to bring them out of those cultural, traditional roles that they have been in is actually an uphill task. Prithika made the decision that she was going to be a police officer. Padma Lakshmi decided she wanted to be an advocate. And the paths to getting there are super difficult. But there's also a cultural belief that it is okay to be either in the blessing, begging thing, because that is culturally our role. So how would you navigate this space of whether it is culturally acceptable to be, or do we transition into a completely economic world where it is not okay to beg, or do you have a balance where either is okay and it depends on the person? So I just want you to reflect on this.
I think a couple of points to be clarified on this floor. Prostitution is a terminology where Professor Bhavani is not willing to sell her body for sex, so I force you to become a sex worker. That whole terminology becomes a prostitution. With choice, willingness and consent, I want to sell my body, that becomes in a profession of sex work. That's what the Supreme Court of India just 1 or 2 years ago, which has legalized to protect the rights of sex workers. The point to question that was about the beggary / cultural / traditional / social status is concerned, I think depends on the region is concerned. southern part of India has more in terms of sex work and begging, very more accepted. North part of India more in terms of acceptance based on your cultural identity. Because you are a kinner slash hijra slash marpet ke khusri, you are more accepted by the Jains than any other religion. If you are housewarming ceremony, naming ceremony, marriages and stuff like that, people still today provide us the jewels, the silver, the money in vast, in a very huge, so much of respect culturally. So now the question is about whether begging is good or not. I think the whole world is a beggary world. I beg before you, you beg before me. And we all beg for either one of the causes. My student beg for their certificates, teacher begs for salaries, institution beg for support of government, government begs for the common citizens. So, until we understand the politics of begging and slash beggary, you cannot define or judge people. I experienced Professor Bhavani. I come from begging. I was a beggar. I was a sex worker. I know what is this whole issue all about. And I can speak on this. And I don't want to compromise on this. I think because I beg, I want to take one activity, if you just give me 2 minutes of permission. I do that? Now I want to seek my arm. I want 1 rupee money. Okay, please give 1 rupee money, 5 rupee or 10 rupee. I want to beg here now. Money, I want money, yeah. Professor, money.
You have anything in your pocket?
I do, but I don't want to give digitalization.
So what's your name? So Priya, can you hear me? Priya, I was in need of money for what? To fulfill my bread and butter. Pause there. Fulfill my bread and butter, to wear clothing, to be in a shelter, to fulfill my desire and dream. When I was in need of the urge to have this money, she becomes my goddess. She becomes my God, who was in need to fulfill my needs. So this is what beggary slash poverty slash identity means. This whole example gave us some sort of mind to think about this. Thank you, Priya Goddess. So that's all about Professor. So there's nothing much to be contradicted. You get it? I was speaking in my beginning session that how a system of society has been conflicted. 25 years ago, no people were just coming and talking to you, no shaking hands, no smiling, nothing was there. It's because of the South Indian, the political slash community movement, which becomes so powerful, and the working class voices especially. Today we are talking about the judgments. Did the judges give the judgment so easily, beautifully? No, because my people have sacrificed their lives. They were assassinated, they were killed on the streets. We came on the street and said that end violence, we are human beings. Consider hijras as women. That's a fight against all systems that was existed. That's why my Supreme Court 2009, 2014, 2018, 2008, I think it's an ongoing process that that's going to come very soon. So these judgments have played a vital role of the ground experiences. North is not that much of activism. The southern part of India, Bangalore became the hub of activism. Karnataka became the hub of activism. I think in this process, today we are sitting as advocates, as police officers. Rakshita has never done sex work and begging. But I stand for the legalization of sex work. I stand for the cultural slash traditional identity of begging. That's my stand here.
Thank you, Akkai. I had a feeling that she could actually handle that question. Since she did it very well. Another round of applause for that. So now my next question is to, I will ask Dr. Sundeep, if that's okay. Dr. Sundeep, you have seen, not just as a doctor who's performing surgeries, but I'm sure that you have also been involved in the lives of the transgender men and women, both trans men and women who come to the clinics. And I know that mental health is one of the pressing issues in the trans community. And mental health is a pressing issue across the board. And it's probably one of the most neglected of health, as you call it. I would like your reflections on what is the hardest transition phases that you have noticed for the trans men and women who pass through your clinics. What can we do better in the medical system to actually make it easier for them? Something that is very and with a special emphasis on the mental health aspect.
Yeah. So I personally feel, no, like Bhavani specifically asked me about, as a doctor, no, what we can actually do to the community. So, but what I feel personally, is, see, previous question was regarding begging, prostitution, etc. So, but we have to wonder nobody wants to be a beggar. Nobody wants to be a prostitute. Okay? So you should wonder, why did it happen? So because I am sitting on this side of a consultation table, I see many of the people coming at different age groups. Okay? Some people come directly, some people come with their parents, some people are older in the 30s, some people are in the 20s, some people are teenagers, some people are only children. So it's a vast variety of people who actually come to us. So now, to answer that particular question, I was always thinking, why do they end up like that? See, the most important thing, I might be wrong, but this is what I have gathered from speaking to various people from the trans community. Okay, so this is what I've understood. So the most important thing I feel is because they would say that when they were in their 5th standard, 6th standard, and all, when they slowly show, let's say the trans woman, when they slowly start showing the particular orientation towards the other gender. So when that happens, what happens is that they slowly start getting bullied by their peers in the class. So, and then what happens is sometimes it becomes worse, sometimes it's okay, and slowly what happens is that if it becomes bad, their studies will start coming down, and then slowly they actually sometimes leave the school and go, sometimes leave their homes and go. So it really, the start, I feel, should come along with the reservations, the quotas, etc. I feel the most important thing is, in our education system, in our school education system, when we actually learn, my daughter is now the 6th grade. I clearly remember when she was in the UKG, 1st standard, 2nd standard and all, there were classes, there were chapters which would tell them, okay, I am a boy, I am a girl, boys wear this dress, girls wear this dress, I play with this, I play with that, and then protection, saving, you should not inappropriate sites, appropriate touch, etc., etc., etc. See, they know only that. See, no child is bad. No child is born bad. It is because lack of knowledge. So the knowledge that there is people in a transgender community, that awareness should be there for the children itself. See, only if the awareness is there, then they will be accepting all these things. See, if the awareness is not there, it will not be there. They will be thinking this particular person is weird. So who is to blame? Is it child to blame, or is it the education system to blame? That is something that we have to first think about. So that is the start of that. So the psychiatric issues and all, that you just imagine the situation. A child, see, literally when people come, we will not know what really to do, because the parents are coming, they will first come into the consultation room, see this child is behaving weirdly, doctor, you just tell them that he is a boy, not a girl, just make him aware of that. So that is what the parents are requesting. So why is the parents requesting like that? 2 reasons. One is lack of knowledge, he doesn't know about it, the parents do not know about it. Second issue is that the community, the society is kind of the society. Nowadays we see a lot of parents, the mother is the pillar of the house. That if you ask all of them, if they have got some acceptance in the house, it would be the mother. The father is a person who is going to the society, and he is a person who will be very difficult to handle. He would be the person who's not supportive. See, once that awareness is there, that social awareness, and when these things are there, then the issue of the psychiatric things will come down. Okay, so now that particular child's issue, you see, that child, he speaks to the mother. First, invariably they will speak to the mother. See, I have a problem here, so what to do? The mother may keep quiet, mother may support you, no, it is not this one, you please don't this one, you try to change, it is only thought, this one. Then like what she was telling her, they would slowly, they will tell the father will go his head, and then there all this astrology, going to temple, going to doctor, all these things will be there. Unfortunately, many times they will go to some doctors, and doctors itself is not aware. Doctor itself is not aware. Okay, so that is one reason. So to go to the right doctor is also important. So fortunately now the Psychiatric Society of India, the psychiatrists and the psychologists, they are very, now they are sensitized, they understand things and how things are. So otherwise, if they don't go there, just imagine the situation. The child, the parents are refusing, he is feeling very bad. Every day he sees himself on the mirror, he feels ashamed of his body. Then what to do? So it is a very difficult situation. So that my take on that is that awareness should be there right from the schooling. It should be there more in the society. Like they said, judgments are judgments. If it has to percolate into the society has to change. So more than all these psychiatric things and all, it does the same. I can just, for the young children, I can just ask you one small question. I'll ask you. See, when I'm sending a person, a trans person, before the surgery, it is by law, it is mandated that I have to get one psychiatrist bar psychologist opinion for top surgery and 2 people's opinion for bottom surgery. Okay? Do you know what I'm looking for in that note that they are writing and giving? I'm just looking for that sentence, that tells that this particular person, XXX, this particular person has got absolutely no psychiatric problem or the other. Even now in our society, people feel that all this drama, they call it drama, I'm not exaggerating, they call it drama, is because of their psychiatric issue, which is absolutely wrong. See, they have psychological problems. Why? Because of the trauma that they are going through. You know what is the rate of suicide among the community? It is 40 times the cis community. Cis community by which people will tell normal community. It is wrong. It is cis trans. Okay? Among the cis population, among the trans population, it is 40 times the suicide rate than the cis population. But why is it 40 times? Because the amount of trauma that they are going through. See, each and every one, if you see, most of them have told that they wanted to commit suicide. And that decision becoming a reality just takes one split second. Or they would have tried and that had to succeed. That small, this one is there. So much of difference is there. So much of, what do you call it for that is so close. So from the psychological perspective, it is very important that everyone should support it. Whether it could be, the percentage of people in the population, how many percentage is having, is a trans person? Can you guess? Just take a guess. Just take a wild guess. 1 in dash numbers. You just put one number. Sir, what is your opinion, sir? 1%. Absolutely true. It could be transgenders is around 1%. Gender fluid is up to 10%. Up to 10% is gender fluidity in the population. So that many number of that. So if you see in this room of more than maybe around 100 people, and the other room with total maybe 500, 600 people are there. How many people are going to be there? You should expect that there would be around at least 3 to 4 people who are transgenders. But either they are scared to come out, or they are actually holding it back for whatever reasons. So I think from this perspective, no, it is very important. It's not only the role of the psychiatrist to actually address this thing. It is everyone, each one of us have to address this problem.
Sure.
As doctor said, I would like to add one thing. If you take example, my mother didn't accept still. You were selling that majority mother, but sometimes father also can understand our feelings. You trust me or not, it's been 2019 only my father accepted. But what is the funniest things when I tell to my father, I just fought with my father. I'm not criminal. I'm not terrorism. No, I'm not so-called. If your son became a goons or something, you guys easily accept, oh, he's become goons. Okay, fine. It's common. We are not, then what is the matter of normal and abnormal? Who is the abnormal? Who's standing in abnormal position? They are the abnormals only. Who is the normal? Who thinks as we are a human being? They are normals. Correct, no? So, yeah, we should think that. And second thing, I would like to add one thing. As doctor, I went last 2 weeks back. I went for clinic for some laser treatment. I spoke to doctor. Doctor so totally confused, seeing to bottom, saying that you are Chaka. See, this is very hurting. You are sitting in a respective position. You are sitting in a respective position. I asked back to doctor, what is Chaka, doctor? No, people are saying that. Then you are doctor, you done so-called PhD, doctorate and all. You are copy and pasting the society concepts. What is Chaka? I don't know, ma people are calling. What is Koja? I don't know anything. What is Shantapottu? I don't know anything. What is Ombadu? What is Ombadu? Someone said that number, that's it. These are the words demeaning the people, discrimination the people, without knowledge. They see the society concept. I will tell you very frankly. I'm checking to understand. If a girl, she's not good, just copy and paste it. She's not good. If a man, all men are rapists. Okay, all men are rapists. No, see, we can't judge anyone. 5 fingers are different. Of course, 5 fingers are different. Good, bad, so lovely, lovable persons everywhere there. Okay, so that is what I was talking to the doctor, saying that doctor, you doesn't know anything. What is the? Then I said transgender. Transgender. What is transgender? I had brought up like this. Oh my God, he asked my history totally. I went for consultation. He took class from my end. I felt that is kind of a session for him. Then I told doctor, please arrange kind of a session so they were a clinical, who are all working within the clinic, please arrange a session, we will come and sensitize. This is how sensitive still it is happening, but I would like to bring it here in Karnataka. We should be very proud about the MS Ramaya Hospital and the Victoria Hospital, the Nimans Hospital and Victoria Hospital. They're so proactiveness for trans mans who biological born as a female, then transgender as a male, really intersex. So they're so very closely and very transparency surgery they're doing it with non-discrimination by treatment. And MS Ramaya Hospital, I think Akkai is the first transgender who done proper transformation legally. No, I am the second person. So they done well special ward and all. So like it's very transparent. So this is how we are bringing. See, still right now we are in very basic step. We are fighting still basic step. No, so that is how we should think about very logic concept. And third thing, I will conclude here. Problem is not within the transgenders. Problem is with every genders. Dear neighbors, dear friends, please focus on your kids while you're focusing on other kids, what they are doing. Please open your door. Don't try to keep open others' doors. No? See, this is how we are spoiling our lives. This is how parents are getting negative impact. Negative impact. Why was son being like a girl? You can take him to the boys' high school. That's why my father put up me to the boys' high school. When in boys' high school, they hit up me by the bat, stone. You trust me or not? Literally, I was naked. They're asking that you are acting like a girl. You said you're acting like a girl. No? So when I'm addressing to in front of the principal, that's okay. You behave yourself. That's your classmate. No. Rape is rape. Harassment is harassment. So this depends on how we are guiding to our kids. How do we feel? Dear parents, dear brothers, dear sisters, dear boyfriends and girlfriends, be proud what you are, what your partner also have. No? Thank you so much.
So much to take away, so much to learn, so much to reflect upon. And again, they both brought back to the thing about how we really must own the change. This change has to happen in society. This is where transformation has to happen. Again, hope all of you will reflect on this even beyond this conversation. And with that, I will actually loop in with some of the things that were said from the previous panelists to Padma Lakshmi. She's the last and the most powerful speaker. I remember you said something that Amma also tells us all the time. Amma always tells us, Vivaramundu bodhamilla. And this is the exact same sentence she told me during breakfast. Vivaramundu bodhamilla. I want you to reflect on Vivaramundu bodhamilla because all of us have the same bodhamilla, Amma. So please would you reflect and what is the bodham that we need to have? And yes, please. Sorry. Vivaramundu bodhamilla. It's in Malayalam. It means you have information, but you don't have the wisdom and the awareness.
എൻ്റെ ഒരു എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ആണ്. എൻ്റെ എൻറോൾമെൻറ്റ് ടൈമിനകത്ത് ഞാൻ ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ കാർഡ് TG കാർഡ് സെൻട്രൽ ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിൻ്റെ TG കാർഡ് കൊണ്ടുപോയിട്ട് ഇത് ഹൈക്കോടതിയിൽ അതോറിറ്റിയുടെ പേരും ആ വ്യക്തിയുടെ പേരൊന്നും ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ ഞാൻ പ്രൊനൗൺസ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല, വേറെ ഒറ്റതേ ഉള്ളൂ. അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ കയ്യിലോട്ട് ഞാൻ കൊടുത്ത സമയത്ത് എന്നോടൊരു ഒറ്റ കാര്യമാണ് പറഞ്ഞത്, കളക്ടറിൻ്റെ കയ്യിൽ നിന്ന് കത്തൊന്നും വാങ്ങിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് വരേണ്ട കാര്യമൊന്നും ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ലല്ലോ, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് നേരിട്ട് വന്നാൽ പോരായിരുന്നോ എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചു. ഒരു TG കാർഡ് കണ്ടിട്ട് അത് കളക്ടറിൻ്റെ കയ്യിൽ നിന്ന് ഒപ്പിട്ട് വാങ്ങിയ കത്താണ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു അതോറിറ്റി ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ട്. അത് ഞാൻ കേട്ടപ്പോൾ വെച്ച് കളക്ടറിൻ്റെ കയ്യിൽ നിന്ന് കത്തോ, ഞാൻ പോയി വാങ്ങിയില്ലല്ലോ. പിന്നീടാണ് എനിക്ക് കാര്യം മനസ്സിലായത്, TG കാർഡ് കണ്ടിട്ടാണ് കളക്ടറിൻ്റെ കയ്യിൽ നിന്ന് കത്ത് എന്ന് ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചത്. കാരണം അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് എഴുതിയിട്ടുണ്ട് ഡിസ്ട്രിക്ട് കളക്ടർ ഒപ്പ്. ഇതാണ് അവസ്ഥ. അതായത് നമ്മുടെ എല്ലാവരുടെയും കയ്യിൽ ഈ വസ്തുണ്ട്, അതായത് ഫോൺ എല്ലാവരുടെയും കയ്യിൽ നമുക്കൊന്ന് ആക്സസ് ചെയ്താൽ എന്ത് വിവരം വേണമെങ്കിലും നമുക്കിതിൽ നിന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ സാധിക്കും. ചുരുക്കി പറഞ്ഞാൽ എല്ലാവരുടെയും കയ്യിൽ വിവരമുണ്ട്. അതെങ്ങനെ ഉപയോഗിക്കണം എന്നുള്ളൊരു ബോധം അതാണ് നമുക്ക് വേണ്ടത്, അതാണ് ഇല്ലാത്തത്. കാരണം ഇന്നലെ വളരെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ക്ലയൻറ്റ് മീറ്റിംഗ് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഇറങ്ങിയപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ ഒരു ഫ്രണ്ട് എനിക്ക് അയച്ചു തന്നൊരു പോസ്റ്റാണ് എസ് ക്യാമ്പയിൻ. അത് എന്തിനാണെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ LGBTQ കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റീനെ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഇല്ലാതെ ആക്കണം. കാരണം അതൊരു നാളെ നമ്മളുടെ വീട്ടിലേക്കും വന്നു കയറാവുന്നൊരു വിപത്താണത് എന്നാണ് അവരുടെ ആശയം. അപ്പോൾ പെർഫെക്റ്റ്ലി ആ ഒരു ക്യാമ്പയിൻ അതൊരു സ്റ്റേറ്റ് കമ്മിറ്റി ഉണ്ട്. ഇപ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് വലിയ അതായത് ഒന്നാമത്തെ പദ്ധതി ഇതാണ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്, രണ്ടാമത്തെ പദ്ധതി ഇങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യണം. ചുരുക്കി പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഞങ്ങൾ ഇത്ര നാളുകൾ കൊണ്ട് LGBTQ എന്നൊരു ആക്ടിവിസമാണത്. ആ ആക്ടിവിസത്തെ ഇല്ലാതെയാക്കണം. ഈ ഒരു ആക്ടിവിസത്തെ ഇല്ലാതാക്കുക എന്നതുകൊണ്ട് അവർ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് എന്തെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇതെല്ലാവരും ഡോക്ടർ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ അഭിനയമാണ് എന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ അഭിനയിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ ഒരു കാര്യം മാത്രം നോക്കുക, ഒരു ദിവസം സ്വന്തമായിട്ട് പോയിട്ട് ഒരു വ്യക്തി, അതായത് അയാൾക്ക് എത്ര നാൾ സാരി ഉടുത്ത് ജീവിക്കാൻ സാധിക്കും? അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു സ്ത്രീക്ക് എത്ര നാൾ മീശയും താടിയും ഒക്കെ ഒരു വെപ്പൊക്കെ വെച്ച് ജീവിക്കാം? 1-2 ആളുകളെ ഞാൻ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടില്ല, ഞാൻ ഒരിക്കലും എടുത്ത് പറയുന്നില്ല. പക്ഷെ നമ്മുടെ സ്വന്തം വ്യക്തിത്വം, ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു ആൺകുട്ടീനെ നോക്കി അവളെ ഷീ എന്ന രീതിയിൽ പ്രൊനൗൺസ് ചെയ്ത് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടില്ല. കാരണം അദ്ദേഹം അഭിമാനിക്കുന്നുണ്ട് ഞാനൊരു പുരുഷനാണ്. അതുപോലെ ഒരു സ്ത്രീ അഭിമാനിക്കുന്നുണ്ട് ഞാനൊരു സ്ത്രീയാണ്. അതുപോലെ ഒരു ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡറായി ഞാൻ അഭിമാനിക്കുന്നുണ്ട് ഞാനൊരു ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡറാണ്. അതാണ് ആ വ്യത്യാസം വരുന്നത്. അതിൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട കാര്യം എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മൾ ചെറുപ്പത്തിലെ നമ്മൾക്ക് ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന കുറച്ച് കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. ഓരോന്നോ ചിത്രങ്ങൾ നോക്കിയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഓരോ കുട്ടികളെയും കാര്യങ്ങൾ പഠിപ്പിച്ചു കൊടുക്കുന്നത്. പാൻറ്റും ഷർട്ടും ഇട്ട് നിൽക്കുന്ന വ്യക്തിയെ നോക്കിയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ കുട്ടികളെ പഠിപ്പിക്കുകയാണ് ദിസ് ഈസ് എ മെൻ, ഇതൊരു പുരുഷനാകുന്നു എന്നാണ് നമ്മൾ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്നത്. എത്ര പാൻറ്റും ഷർട്ടും ഇട്ട പെൺകുട്ടികളാണ് ഇവിടെ ഇരിക്കുന്നത് നമുക്ക് നോക്കിയാൽ തന്നെ കാണാൻ വേണ്ടി സാധിക്കും. ഇവിടെ ഇല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഇത് സാരി ഉടുത്ത ഒരാളെ കണ്ട് ഇതൊരു സ്ത്രീയാകുന്നു എന്ന രീതിയിലാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അപ്പോൾ മൂന്നാമത്തെ നമ്മൾ ഓൾറെഡി ഇത് പ്രതിക പറഞ്ഞു, ഒന്നാമത്തെ രണ്ടാമത്തെ മൂന്നാമത്തെ എന്ന് തിരിക്കുന്ന രീതി. അതിനകത്ത് ഏതാ 1 2 3 ഇപ്പോഴും ചോദിച്ചിട്ട് നിൽക്കുന്ന കാര്യമാണ്, അതൊന്നും ഞാൻ പറയുന്നില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിന് പകരം ഒരു മെയിലിനൊരു സിമ്പിൾ ഉണ്ടെന്ന് നമ്മൾ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഷോപ്പിംഗ് മാളുകളിലൊക്കെ പോകുമ്പോൾ കാണാൻ സാധിക്കും. മെയിൽ ബാത്റൂമിൽ ഒരു സിമ്പിൾ വെക്കാറുണ്ട്. ആ സിമ്പിൾ പഠിപ്പിച്ച് കൊടുത്താൽ പോരെ. എന്തിനാണ് വേഷഭൂഷാദികൾ കണ്ടുകൊണ്ട് ആളുകളെ നമ്മൾ അടയാളപ്പെടുത്തേണ്ട കാര്യം എന്താണ്? കാലം മാറിയില്ലേ? വേഷഭൂഷാദികളും നമുക്ക് ആ വേഷഭൂഷാദികളുടെ പേരിൽ ഒരാളെ ഇന്നതാകുന്നു എന്ന് ജഡ്ജ് ചെയ്യുന്നൊരു രീതി, അത് തെറ്റാണ്. വസ്ത്ര സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യം പോലെ തന്നെയാണ് ഒരു വ്യക്തിയുടെ സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യം. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ജെൻഡർ ന്യൂട്രാലിറ്റീനെ പറ്റി അതും ഒരു പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഒരു കാര്യമാണ്. ഈ ഏറ്റവും ഈക്വാലിറ്റി എന്നൊരു വസ്തുതയുണ്ട്. എനിക്ക് എൻറോൾമെൻറ്റ് സർട്ടിഫിക്കറ്റ് കിട്ടിയ സമയത്ത് ഞാൻ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ തവണ പറഞ്ഞൊരു വാക്കാണ് ഈക്വാലിറ്റി. അത് വേറൊന്നും കൊണ്ടല്ല, എൻ്റെ അധ്യാപിക ഡോക്ടർ മറിയാമ്മ AK മാം, ഞാൻ മാമിനോട് എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളും തുറന്നു പറഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ മാം എന്നോട് പറഞ്ഞതാണ്, നീ ഒന്നുകൊണ്ടും ഭയപ്പെടേണ്ട കാര്യമില്ല. കാരണം നിൻ്റെ മുമ്പിലോട്ട് കിട്ടിയിരിക്കുന്ന ഈക്വാലിറ്റിയുടെ പുസ്തകമാണ്. ഈക്വാലിറ്റിയുടെ പുസ്തകമുള്ള നിനക്ക് നീ ഒന്നിനെയും ഭയപ്പെടേണ്ടതില്ല, നീ ധൈര്യമായിട്ട് മുന്നോട്ട് പോവുക. അപ്പോൾ ഈക്വാലിറ്റിയുടെ പുസ്തകം കയ്യിൽ പിടിച്ച് ഞാൻ ഇറങ്ങിയ സമയത്ത് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ, ഒരാഴ്ച കൊണ്ട് എനിക്ക് ടെർമിനേഷൻ അടിച്ച് കൈ കിട്ടിയ വ്യക്തിയാണ്. അതിനകത്ത് എഴുതിയ കാര്യം, ഒന്ന്, ഞാൻ സെലിബ്രിറ്റിയാണ്. രണ്ടാമത്തെ കാര്യം, ഞാൻ വന്ന വഴി മറന്നു. ഇവിടെ എല്ലാവരുടെയും ഒരു ധാരണയുണ്ട്, ഒരു ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു വ്യക്തിക്ക്, നമ്മുടെ ഇവിടുത്തെ സമൂഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഒരു പ്രത്യേക ഒരു പ്രശ്നമാണ്, ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ ആയ ഒരു വ്യക്തിക്ക് ജോലി കൊടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അതൊരു ഔദാര്യമായിട്ട് കണക്കാക്കുന്നു. ഞാനൊരു ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡറിന് ജോലി കൊടുത്തു. നിങ്ങളുടെ സുഹൃത്തുക്കൾക്കിടയിൽ ഒരു വിഭാഗം ആളുകൾ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്, എനിക്കൊരു ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ സുഹൃത്തുണ്ട്, അതൊരു ഔദാര്യമായിട്ടാണ് കാണുന്നത്. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പറയാം, എനിക്കൊരു ഗേ സുഹൃത്തുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ മറിച്ച് ഞാൻ ഇതുവരെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല, എനിക്കൊരു പുരുഷ സുഹൃത്തുണ്ട്, ഒരു സ്ത്രീ സുഹൃത്തുണ്ട് എന്ന് ഞാൻ ഇതുവരെ ആരോടും പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല. കാരണം അതുപോലെ തന്നെ പ്രധാനമായിട്ടുള്ളതാണ്, നമ്മുടെയൊക്കെ ഫോണിൽ സേവ് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ പലപ്പോഴും കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ട് പത്മ ലക്ഷ്മി ട്രാൻസ്. ഞാൻ അങ്ങനെയെങ്കിൽ നാളെ മുതൽ ഷിബു പീതാംബരൻ പുരുഷൻ എന്നും കൂടെ എഴുതട്ടെ. ഇതാണ് ഇവിടുത്തെ പ്രധാനമായിട്ടുള്ള വ്യത്യാസം. ഇങ്ങനെ ഇതാണ് ഒരു വേർതിരിവ്. അതായത് മനുഷ്യൻ വാക്കുകൾ കൊണ്ട് പ്രോഗ്രസീവും പ്രവൃത്തി കൊണ്ട് പോയിസൺസുമായി മാറുന്ന വളരെ കഷ്ടമുള്ളൊരവസ്ഥയാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ കടന്നു പോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. വാക്കുകൾ കൊണ്ട് എല്ലാവരും ഭയങ്കര പ്രോഗ്രസീവാണ്, പ്രവൃത്തിയിൽ മാത്രം ഇല്ലാന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഈ ഏറ്റവും ലേറ്റസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് നമ്മുടെ ഓണറബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഹൈക്കോടതിയുടെ മുമ്പാകെ ഞാൻ കേൾക്കേണ്ടി വന്ന വളരെ വിഷമമുള്ളൊരു വാക്കാണ്, ഏതാണ് കോടതി ഏതാ എന്ന് ഞാൻ പറയില്ല, കാരണം അതെൻ്റെ അന്നം മുട്ടും എന്നുള്ളതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഞാൻ പറയാത്തത്. ചോദിച്ച കാര്യം ഒന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ, 2 ലെസ്ബിയൻ കപ്പിൾസിൻ്റെ ഒരു ഹേബിയസ് കോർപ്പസ് ഹർജിയായിരുന്നു. ആ സമയത്ത് അദ്ദേഹം പറഞ്ഞതാണ്, ഞാൻ പ്രോഗ്രസീവാണ് കേട്ടോ, നിങ്ങളിൽ ആരാ ഹസ്ബൻഡും വൈഫും? വളരെ സങ്കടമുള്ളൊരു കാര്യമാണ് ആ ഒരു ചോദ്യം. അതിനെ കണക്ട് ചെയ്ത് തന്നെ ഞാൻ എടുത്ത് പറയുകയാണ്, മുകുൾ റോഡ്കി സാറ് പറഞ്ഞൊരു പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട കാര്യമുണ്ട്. സെക്ഷൻ 50 ഓഫ് ദി സ്പെഷ്യൽ മാരേജ് ആക്ടിനകത്ത് സ്പെസിഫൈ ചെയ്ത് പറയുന്നുണ്ട് ഹസ്ബൻഡ് ആൻഡ് വൈഫ് എന്ന്. അതുപോലെ ഫോർക്ലോസ് നമ്മൾ അൺകോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷണൽ ആണ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് ചലഞ്ച് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന ഭാഗത്തിനകത്തും പറയുന്നുണ്ട് മെയിൽ ആൻഡ് ഫീമെയിൽ എന്ന്. സോ ഈ 2 പദങ്ങൾക്ക് പകരം സ്പൗസ് എന്ന് ഉപയോഗിച്ചൂടെ എന്നൊരു കൺടെൻഷൻ, ഒരു ആർഗ്യുമെൻ്റാണ് മുമ്പോട്ട് വെച്ചത്. അത്ര പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ടൊരു കാര്യമാണ് അദ്ദേഹം മുന്നോട്ട് നമുക്ക് വെച്ച് തന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്. സോ അത് ഓൾറെഡി സുപ്രീം കോടതിയുടെ മുമ്പിലിരിക്കുന്ന കാര്യമാണ്. നമ്മുടെ ബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട സുപ്രീം കോടതി ചീഫ് ജസ്റ്റിസ് പറഞ്ഞതുപോലെ അത് നമ്മൾ ചർച്ച ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. ഞാൻ അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ വിട്ടുമാറി ഞാൻ ഇക്വാലിറ്റിയിലോട്ട് തന്നെ വരികയാണ്. 354 അതായത് ഇവിടെ ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡറുകളെ പ്രൊട്ടക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി ഒരു ആക്ട് ഒക്കെ ഇവിടെ കൊണ്ടിറക്കി വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. ആ ആക്ടിനെ കുറിച്ചും ആ ആക്ട് വളരെ പ്രൊട്ടക്ഷൻ കൊണ്ടങ്ങോട്ടേക്ക് എന്താ പറയുക നിവർത്തിയില്ലാത്ത അവസ്ഥയാണ്. കാരണം എനിക്ക് നാളെ ഒരു ആൻറ്റിസിപ്പേറ്ററി ബെയിലുണ്ട്. അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് 18D എന്നാണ് ഇട്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ പ്രൊട്ടക്ഷൻ ആക്ട് സെക്ഷൻ 18D എന്നൊരു വകുപ്പ് ഇട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്. 18Dയുടെ പണിഷ്മെൻറ്റ് വായിച്ചു നോക്കിയാൽ 6 മാസം മുതൽ 2 വർഷം വരെയാണ് അവിടുത്തെ പണിഷ്മെൻ്റ് ഉള്ളൂ. അതായത് ജാമ്യം കിട്ടുന്ന ഒഫൻസാണ്. ഒരു ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡറിനെ സെക്ഷുവലി അബ്യൂസ് ചെയ്താൽ അവർക്ക് കിട്ടുന്ന ശിക്ഷ 6 മാസം മുതൽ 2 വർഷം വരെ ജാമ്യം കിട്ടുന്ന ഒരു സിമ്പിൾ വകുപ്പ്.
അപ്പോൾ എന്താണ് ഈ സെക്ഷുവലി അബ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡറിന് മാത്രമായിട്ട് എന്താണ് ഒരു ഡിഫറൻസ് വരിക? റേപ്പ് എല്ലാവർക്കും സെയിം തന്നെയല്ലേ? ഒരു ട്രാൻസിനാണെങ്കിലും ഒരു വിമണിനാണെങ്കിലും ഒരു മെന്നിനാണെങ്കിലും അതിനുണ്ടാക്കുന്ന ആ ഒരു ഹീനസ് ക്രൈം, അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു ട്രോമ അത് ചെറുതല്ല. അത് എത്ര കാലം കഴിഞ്ഞാലും ആ വ്യക്തിയുടെ മനസ്സിൽ നിന്ന് മായില്ല. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ എന്തിനാണ് ഈ ആർട്ടിക്കിൾ 40 ഈക്വാലിറ്റിയുടെ ഡിസ്ക്രിമിനേഷൻ എന്തിനാണ്? അങ്ങനെ ഒരു 1000 ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ മുന്നിലുണ്ട്. സോ ഏറ്റവും ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ആസ് എ ലോയർ എന്ന രീതിയിൽ എനിക്ക് ഒത്തിരി ഉത്തരവാദിത്തങ്ങളാണ് ഉള്ളത്. കാര്യം ഇത് കോടതി ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്യുന്ന ദിവസം തന്നെ ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ പ്രൊട്ടക്ഷൻ ബില്ല് ചലഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാൻ തന്നെയാണ് തീരുമാനിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. കാരണം ഇനിയൊരവസ്ഥ ആർക്കും ഉണ്ടാവരുത്. കാരണം ഞാനും ട്രാവൽ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഏകദേശം അഡ്വക്കേറ്റ് ആവുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് ബസ്സിൽ ട്രാവൽ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഒത്തിരി തവണ ഇമോഷണലി ആയിട്ടും വെർബലി ആയിട്ടും ഒക്കെ എനിക്ക് ബുദ്ധിമുട്ട് ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ ആ സമയത്തൊന്നും ഒരു സ്ട്രോങ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ലോ ഇല്ലാത്തതിൻ്റെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ട്. കാരണം ഞാൻ കൊണ്ടുപോയിട്ട് പോലീസ് സ്റ്റേഷനിൽ പരാതി കൊടുത്താൽ ഉണ്ടാകുന്നത് ഇങ്ങനെ നടന്നിട്ടല്ലേ, നേരെ നടന്നാൽ പോരായിരുന്നോ എന്നാണ് ചോദിക്കുക. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവർക്കെതിരെ ഇടുന്ന ഒരു FIR ഒരു ഫീബിൾ FIR ആയിരിക്കും. ഒന്നെങ്കിൽ ജസ്റ്റ് എന്താ പറയുക, വീട് കയറി ആക്രമിച്ചതിന് എൻ്റെ ഒരു ക്ലയൻറ്റിനെ വീട് കയറി വാക്കത്തി കൊണ്ട് വെട്ടാൻ വേണ്ടി ആക്രമിച്ചു, അവളുടെ സാരി വലിച്ചു കീറി. അതിലിട്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ആണ് ട്രെസ്പാസ് എന്നൊരു വകുപ്പ് മാത്രമാണ് ഇട്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. സെക്ഷൻ 307 ഇടേണ്ട സ്ഥാനത്തിൽ വെറും ട്രെസ്പാസ് മാത്രം ഇട്ടിട്ട് ഫീബിളായിട്ടൊരു FIR-ഉം പ്രതിയുടെ സ്ഥാനത്ത് അൺനോൺ പേഴ്സൺ നോട്ട് ഐഡൻറ്റിഫൈഡ് യെറ്റ്. തൊട്ടയലോക്കത്തെ വീട്ടിലത്തെ ആളാണ് ചെയ്തതെന്ന് അവൾ പോയിട്ട് കൃത്യമായി പരാതി കൊടുത്തു. പക്ഷേ അവൾക്കെതിരിട്ട FIR-ൽ ഐഡൻറ്റിഫൈഡ് ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ എന്ന് കൃത്യമായി കൊടുത്തിരിക്കുന്നു. എന്ത് വിരോധാഭാസമാണ്? അവൾക്കെതിരെ 307 ഉണ്ട്. ഇവളുടെ സാരി വലിച്ചെറിയത് കുഴപ്പമില്ല, ഇവളെ വെട്ടാൻ ഓടിച്ചിട്ട് കുഴപ്പമില്ല, ഇവളെ ഉപദ്രവിച്ചതും വിളിച്ച ചീത്തയ്ക്കൊന്നും കുഴപ്പമില്ല. 294B ഉണ്ട്. അതാണ്. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ പോലീസിനോട് ചോദിക്കാൻ പറയുന്നത്, ചീത്ത വിളിച്ചു 294B ഇട്ടിട്ടില്ലേ, വലിയ ഒഫൻസായി പോയി, ജാമ്യം കിട്ടുന്ന ഒഫൻസാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ചുരുക്കി പറഞ്ഞ ഇതാണ് അവസ്ഥ. എവിടെ ആക്ച്വലി ഡിസ്ക്രിമിനേഷൻ ഇൻ സെൻസ് അത് എല്ലായിടത്തും ഉണ്ട്, ഇല്ലെന്ന് ഒരിക്കലും പറയുന്നില്ല. അതിപ്പോൾ ഏത് നാട്ടിലാണെങ്കിലും അതുണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ ജെൻഡർ പൊളിറ്റിക്സ് എന്നൊരു പ്രശ്നമാണ് ഇന്നത്തെ കാലത്ത് ഏറ്റവും അഭിമുഖീകരിക്കുന്നത്. ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ ഒറ്റ വാക്കിൽ അത് കൺക്ലൂഡ് ചെയ്യാണ്: പ്രോഗ്രസീവ് ടങ് ആൻഡ് പോയ്സസ് മൈൻഡ്. സോ ഇതാണ് ഇവിടുത്തെ അവസ്ഥ.
Thank you so much, Padma Lakshmi. I think that has given food for all. I would like to have translated maybe some of the things that she said, but I was too engrossed in the conversation to take down notes. And if there is anybody amongst you who can maybe make a small synopsis in English of the main thing she said. I mean, so is there anyone who could? Otherwise, if the students, I think most of the students understood, and I think I can fill the rest of you in later. All right. I did have a specific question for Rakshita, and this was more on the education and employment of transgenders. I think I mentioned during breakfast. So the most of the work that our center does is around skill development, and we do have centers that are focused on training and teaching skills, vocational skills to transgender communities. We have centers in Delhi, in New Delhi. And we're working, but it's very difficult for us to propose new skills and new venues of work for transgenders, because even if they're moving away from begging and blessing, they tend to go towards apparel making, beautician courses. These are very traditionally accepted job roles among the trans community. I would like you to reflect on that, and also see how like your advice on how to actually diversify the job roles and employment opportunities of the transgender community.
For this question, this is very important question that you went through the flow. Like, yes, actually, from 2018 is my first corporate. Before 2018, I was a movement of social activist for transgender activism, and I was working along with the state government and central government to get the basic benefits facilities for transgender communities. 2018 is my first corporate year. From here, I would like to take the experience of ways at diversity and inclusion. 2018, when I'm appointed in the respective organization, they recruited as me based on sympathy and empathy. They didn't recruit it because of our knowledge or something, because they want to do kind of a name fame. So at the same time, when I'm working along with that company, the company people was saying that Rakshita, you should not go and to speak to any managers or BU leaders. You should be in the same position. Means we are, see, where we talk about the transparency, diversity, where you talk about the inclusiveness. What is inclusiveness? Inclusiveness means you are taking inside the organization to change the people notion and mindsets. That is called inclusion. Not for your name fame purpose, and you provided kind of sympathy and empathy based on the position. So when I asked with HR, why these kind of credential criteria you guys are creating? No, this is an organization norms and policy. However, I discontinued the organization because I don't like to be very fake, smiling in front of people, and behind I don't like to be very sadness. So in 2019, I selected in RBS as a HR for LGBTQ policy. I done 3 months of internship. So it's a LGBTQ policy. They requested me to do international level policy. So I worked along with 62 plus multinational companies and organization. I brought LGBTQ policy for that organization where it's affecting right now. They took international policy and they taking very practically. When I done my policy before the PPT, the final PPT presentation, the organization director requested that, what is your demand? I spoke to the director. Once the policy is brought forward, I don't like to keep it policy in a corner of any buildings. No, it has to be practicality. I would request dear director, the policy should be action from after the PPT presentation. Then only they started to recruit the transgender community people. This is how see the effectiveness. Yes, of course. As a study circle group, as a one-day organization, we are working along with the multiple universities, and we are working along with the multinational companies. But what we are demanding to them, please provide kind of funding support to us. Yes, of course, we are totally rejected by every sectors. No, of course. Example, if you take me, I studied in Kannada medium, local medium. No, by talking to my father he was a LIC head of department manager. He was. So, however, I spoke and I managed well as I was watching TV, I was reading newspaper. That is how I learned English. No, so how many transgender communities can learn the same? When there is a family rejection, so what is the next step? Yes, Akkai was telling that I didn't choose begging and sex work because I took it as a challenge. I can't change everyone. At least I can be role model for 10 members. That was my intention. I work as a housekeepings. I was working to the 4 houses. I was paying per month 300 rupees only. 1,500 was income. So I felt something will be changed. So this is how, as a study circle group, we are planning to do. It's been already 3 months. It's already we talk about gender and sexuality concept. Why we bring this concept to change the people mindset first. Then we planning to take towards the employment opportunity. As one that organization also, we are already rectifying the community peoples who are interested into being the part of mainstreams. So we are giving the skills and development training. At the same time, I would request here that we are constructing the building right now. So to get kind of a comfortable zone for transgender community people to learn their skills and development trainings, and we planning to do continue on the same. So I request BFF on the organization, how much is possible from your students, 1 rupee, 10 rupees, anything, please as a university, I'm asking in front of university also, please support to us, because this fund for not only particular subject, it will have support for future for transgender community who want to do their goals and capacities. We are focusing on them. So I would request once again to the university, Amma, please provide a job opportunity in your university also as well for our transgender community people by bringing kind of a changes which will be impactful for transgender community people. Yes.
We do have trans people employed in our lab, so. So I think with that, I have finished my round of questions. I don't know how we're doing on time. Do I have time to open it up to the audience for a question? We have 10 minutes? Okay, cool. Anybody from the audience would like to ask a question to our esteemed panel? Go ahead.
So my question is for Prithika ma'am. So we know that there are various misconceptions about the transgender community in our society. So how do you think that we can change these misconceptions in the base level? That means within our family, in our our neighborhood, or within our peer groups, like that. So how do you think we could change it in the base level, these kind of misconceptions or this kind of myths?
So already I told you no. So whenever you meet the person, you just be treated like as a normal human being. That's enough. Because first of all, நம்ம என்ன அப்படின்னா அவங்களுடைய சுச்சுவேஷன் என்னங்கிறத நம்ம மேபி ரியலைஸ் பண்ணாமல் இருக்கலாம். ஸோ ஒவ்வொருத்தருக்குமே தெர் ஆர் வேரியஸ் டைப் ஆஃப் ஸ்டோரி இல்லையா? Not only in particularly trans community, in a normal human being, normal cis men, cis women people also they have a lot of story in the background. So when you realize that, first of all, okay, so everybody have such a story in background, and they didn't have a proper food or a proper shelter, maybe they couldn't have parents, so there are lot of scenarios actually it's happened. So that time நீங்கள் என்ன ரியலைஸ் பண்ணுற அப்படின்னா, ஸோ ஃபஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் இமீடியட்டாக நீங்கள் வந்துட்டு உங்கள் இடத்துல நீங்கள் வச்சு பார்க்குறீங்களோ பார்க்கலையோ ரெண்டாவது விஷயம். ஸோ ரெஸ்பெக்ட் ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம். அவங்கள நம்ம எப்படி ரெஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணுறவங்க தான். நீங்கள் என்ன கொடுக்குறீங்களோ அதுதான். வாட் வி கிவ் வி கெட் பேக். ஓகே, தட்ஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் திங். கிவ் ரெஸ்பெக்ட், டேக் ரெஸ்பெக்ட். தட்ஸ் இனஃப். தேங்க் யூ.
Can I just put one thing when that particular question was asked? See, I'm talking from a doctor's perspective. See, why in our society, I'm sure that if we take all these people, there will be people with congenital abnormalities. There will be some people with cleft lip, some people with extra finger. If you see, our famous actors itself have got extra fingers and things like that. So many of them have got so many different. So, but all those things are accepted. A child is born with a hole in the heart. No problem. We will try to treat it. We will get these things done. So now, you should understand. See, science is going forward. Actually, it's not come out in the media per se, but if you actually see our medical journals, we can actually, there are articles that have come out that we have actually, there were actually postmortems done on transgender community people. Okay? So they were actually trying to find out what is the problem, whether we have any physical problem or not. We say that as this one, gender is in the mind, sexuality is in the physical body. So this mind is something which we cannot tell, no? So we cannot see the mind. But actually the fact is, in the brain, in the hypothalamus, there are actually differences in male and female. These are proven facts now. These have come out in our journals. It is only a matter of time when these facts are going to come into the public domain. Okay? There is a physical difference. So what I'm trying to emphasize is that this trans people, not trans community people, no, it is actually a thing that has happened from the birth itself. They may identify themselves as a trans person maybe when they are, people will tell, as long as I remember, maybe 2 years, 3 years, since then I'm having a feel. Some people might tell when I became in the 4th, 5th standard, 6th standard. Commonly that's this one. Some people might tell that when we got into puberty, that is when I realized. But the fact is, it is there right from birth. So if that particular thing is there from birth, if you're not condemning a person with a hold the heart or an extra finger, then why should you do this same thing? So first, the understanding that this is a small error that has happened when the creator has created. I don't know whether it's an error or not. Maybe it is by design. Maybe it's a test paper for the public. How are you going to take this the trans community? How are you going to take them along with you, or are you going to see them as a different bad like the abnormal people? It is not like that. It's like just you and me. That awareness should be there inside. So once that awareness is there inside, no, how you can see another person as different? Understood? So that is the thing. So you must understand that it is an absolutely normal thing that is happening here. Okay? Thank you.
May I ask the next question if nobody's there? Okay. Is it okay if I can go ahead? Yeah, thanks. This could be to Akkai or to the doctor also. So we see a lot of awareness, as you were talking in lines with what you were just mentioning, is lacking in big time. The educated also has to be educated here. So in that case, what is the step that we need to be working as community or corporates or even doctors and everybody, that you have taken step to collaborate with them to bring in those awareness and educate them? What is that you have worked towards?
I think just 4 or 5 days ago, I was addressing one of the universities. I'm a 10th standard, Priya, just listen. I'm a 10th standard mathematics failed person. I'm not studied, I'm not a second PUC passed, not degree passed, not PhD holder, nothing. I'm a 10th standard mathematics failed person. My determination to learn English was to be in society, to ensure our issues are spoken at the outspoken world, which is so-called unspoken. To break the barrier or a stereotype on sex, gender and sexuality, speak the politics of it, number one. So in that university, people were asking me, Madam, what's your qualification and what is your designation? I was telling them, I am the Vice Chancellor for existing Vice Chancellors on gender and sexuality, I told. This became so contradiction because when I disagree with the doctor was using constantly trans, no, it's not trans, transgender woman. It's a completion of your identities. Transgender man, cisgender woman. You get it? So we also need to complete the gender existence of terminologies. Because this is not the fashion about using I am a gay. And what is gay? What is the full abbreviation of gay? Good as you. How though? Good as you. And using this, I know also this consequence on what is sexual minorities. People say LGBTQI++. No. I take my stand on this, not to support this terminology called LGBTQI++. Then where is the issue of working class? There are Jogappas, Marladi, Shivshakti, Jogta, Akwa, Nirvan, Satla, Panti Satla, intergender, intersex people, transgender man, transgender woman, female to male, transgender people. Even using I'm a queer, fine. So globally, I totally agree what Priya has said. Globally, 3 terminologies are used. Number 1, LGBTQI+ is mostly used in professor, upper class, elite, English speaking section for access to information. I'm really not bothered about that. The second terminology is called men having sex with men and transgender. Mostly used in service oriented to prevent tuberculosis, to combat HIV, AIDS, to speak on leprosy and many other aspects of it. But I'm really concerned about the working class, non-English speaking, gender and sexual minority issues, as I mentioned just before, all these identities. So how do you bring this in a curriculum of my education system? I was so disappointed, Professor. The National Council for Educational Research Institute, which is part of my Government of India, which brought in its curriculum to teach teachers to train them on the basics concepts of how do we address gender and sexuality, to teach teachers, TOT. Intentionally, it was removed on the website. Why was it? Then what word I should refer? On the May 17th, Prithika, we are going to be on streets. It's International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia and Biphobia. So how do you bring up these concepts? I think education needs one-to-one, 10 people, 100, thousands and lakhs. And I'm so disappointed, Professor. No voices has been represented in the forum of legislature that includes the parliament and the legislative system. So that is called injustice. And my Constitution of India, Ambedkar has written, has ensured until the most marginal sections who enjoy the liberty of Constitution, keep that in mind to develop any sort of policy, any sort of law or any sort of act. And the existing Act 2019/2020, which was passed in my parliament, did not have unanimous discussion, just passed the bill. The bill was supposed to be what exactly we wanted as a community. It's not 5 people sitting for the whole population. I was just discussing with doctor. We are 10% of this country's population. My people will be the presidents, my people will be the prime ministers, my people will be the ministers who will be going to rule this nation. So now education shall need to happen in the system of democracy. That means the legislature, the executive, the judiciary and the civil society. So therefore, Professor, my 2 demands would be for submission as recommendation for the global summit of 20 countries plus more countries who are taking part in this. They're more focusing on the economic sustainability. The Millennium Development Goals / Sustainable Development Goals is concerned. Talking about economic inflation is concerned. Apart from that, we also need to address this stuff, especially on the rights of women, persons with disabilities, sex workers, sexual minorities and many other marginal sections who are being deprived on the grounds of caste, class and gender. I would submit saying that if you are going to make points 1 and 2, I can really send you the points. But as of now, we would really urge through this C20 platform that our recommendation shall be occupying all these spaces, number 1. Number 2, to represent the voiceless section of society in the parliament and in the assembly houses. Third thing, please implement the Honorable Supreme Court judgments. These are the far better judgments for us to be in the mainstream. Mainstreaming means not only talking, say hi, hello, we need to come to your house, you should come to my house. I share my space and you share your space, except your privacy. Ashte, thank you.
I agree fully with Akkai. Just to add a couple of things. No? So like Bhavani ji had actually told that like right from the ancient times itself, transgender community was part of the society, right? So if you actually see the history, how things have worked out, until 1861, there was no problem. Things were there. Whatever be the rule, all were accepted. There were rulers, there were ministers. They were actually holding high positions where they were the collectors collecting funds. Okay, so they were soldiers. So there were all variety of people. Okay, 1861, a rule was brought by Britishers from their constitution, which was actually inculcated in 1533, Bagri Act. The act's name is Bagri Act. Here they changed it and they made it, what is it, Criminal Tribes Act. Criminal Tribes Act, 1861. Okay. Where they criminalized all these activities. They made a person who was part of society a criminal. And what they used to do, they used to pluck these people from the houses and arrest them, and for the life they would be in prison. So what happened? You just imagine, that time people knew. Maybe after another 20 years, slowly they forgot. But the people who were showing that they're part of transgender community, they were immediately caught again by these Britishers. So slowly it changed the psyche of the society. 1860s, 1880s, 1900s, slowly they became criminalized. See, I remember when I used to go to Bombay as a child, maybe 6 years, 7 years, we were all scared when we see hijras coming to our apartments. Because that was what was told to us. They are criminals. They will take you and go off. They will make you part of the society. Stigmatizing, correct. So why was that? That is because of some rule that was actually brought into this country from elsewhere and enforced on us, slowly changed our psyche. And slowly we became part of the same narrative. So this rule was banned, abolished in UK in 1971, 70s. But in India only in 2014 or 18. See how that evolution has happened. So now suddenly we have come back to the pre-1861 period in 2018. But it might not be tomorrow, but definitely it will come. Definitely we are going to have presidents, prime ministers, ministers also. Obviously, yeah. Obviously, I mean, privilege. We are going to get a celebrity in my house.
Transgender man, in fact. So she would come to my house every day. I don't know if I'm sorry. Yeah, he would come to my house. We were working together. But, an acquaintance of mine, he really blasted at me for inviting that girl. I didn't find anything wrong with her, and she was a bubbly girl. I mean, man. And I'm so sorry. I apologize. So I found that, it's more from the society that we get that fear. Same thing, like if in North, I grew up in North. So if a person, a boy especially, if they don't behave in a manly manner, they are called, kya tum hijda hai? That's how. So there's a pressure from the society also. Unless we clean our mind, I don't think all what you said, I really appreciate you, and my best wishes with you, ma'am, all of you all.
Thank you so much. I think, please be conscious, pronouns are so important. Thank you.
Okay, 1 and 2 maybe. Yeah. On 3.
So my question is to Advocate Padma Lakshmi. So at the beginning you said, I am not ready to compromise my circumstances. So you are in legal profession. So I would like to ask you about what's your stand on using gender sensitive or gender neutral terminologies in the legal proceedings?
Okay. തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും ജനറൽ ന്യൂട്രൽ ലോസ് വേണമെന്നാണ് ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോഴും ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നതും അതിനുവേണ്ടിയുള്ള എന്താ പറയുക ഹോംവർക്കുകളാണ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. നമുക്കൊരു ദിവസം കൊണ്ട് ഈ ലോകം മൊത്തം മാറ്റിമറിക്കാൻ സാധിക്കില്ല. കാരണം ഇതൊരു വലിയ പ്രോസസ്സാണ്. ഇപ്പം ഞാൻ ഓൾറെഡി ഒരു എക്സാമ്പിളായിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ, 354-നെയും 376-നെയും കാര്യം, റേപ്പിൻ്റെയും ഔട്ട്റേഞ്ചിങ് ദി മോഡസ്റ്റി ഓഫ് എ വുമൺ, ഈ 2 സെക്ഷനെ പറ്റി ഞാൻ എടുത്ത് സംസാരിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞു. ഈ 2 സെക്ഷനകത്തും പ്രധാനമായിട്ടും അത് ഫീമെയിൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ള വ്യക്തിക്ക് മാത്രം ആയിട്ടാണ് റേപ്പിനെ കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളൂ. സോ ഇറ്റ് ഷുഡ് ബി എ ജനറൽ ന്യൂട്രൽ. ഈവൻ എന്താ പറയുക, എനിക്ക് പേഴ്സണലി ഉള്ളൊരു അഭിപ്രായമാണ്, അതെല്ലാവർക്കും ഒരുപോലെ ആവണമെന്നില്ല. ഈവൻ ഒരു ടോയ്ലറ്റ് ആണെങ്കിൽ പോലും ഇറ്റ് ഷുഡ് ബി ജനറൽ ന്യൂട്രൽ ആണെങ്കിൽ ഇറ്റ്സ് മോർ ബെറ്റർ എന്നാണ് എൻ്റെ ഒപ്പീനിയനാണത്. എല്ലാവർക്കും അത് ഒരുപോലെ ആവണമെന്നില്ല, ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ ഒപ്പീനിയൻ പറഞ്ഞേ ഉള്ളൂ. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ നമ്മുടെ ലോയിൽ, ഫ്രം ദ പോയിന്റ് ഓഫ് ലോ, നമുക്ക് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതലായിട്ടും ഒത്തിരി ടേംസിനകത്ത് മാറ്റം വരുത്തേണ്ടതായിട്ടുണ്ട്. കാര്യം വുമൻസിൻ്റെ, അതായത് മെയിൻ്റെനൻസ് 175, അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ട്രാൻസ് വുമൻസിന് പിന്തുടർച്ചാവകാശത്തിനകത്തുള്ള ഒത്തിരി എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുകളുണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ പ്രധാനമായിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യമാണ് മെയിൻ്റനൻസിന് പോകുമ്പോൾ 125 CRPC മെയിൻ്റനൻസ് ആണ്. അതിന് പോകുമ്പോൾ ഉള്ള ബുദ്ധിമുട്ട് അത് വേറെ, അതായത് ട്രാൻസ് വിമൻസിന് അതെങ്ങനെ കിട്ടും എന്നുള്ളതിനകത്തും ഒരു ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ട്. ബട്ട് ആക്ച്വലി അത് വാങ്ങിക്കൊടുത്തിരും. പിന്നെ അതുപോലെ തന്നെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ടതാണ്
ഇതുപോലത്തെ അത് പിന്നെ മറ്റൊരു കാര്യം എന്താ പറയുക, നമ്മുടെ ഇത് ജനറൽ ന്യൂട്രൽ ലോസിൽ ഈ ഒരു ഡിഫറൻസ് ആയിട്ട് നമ്മളെപ്പോഴും എടുത്ത് പറയുന്ന കാര്യം 1994 ആദ്യമായിട്ട് ഇതൊരു അതായത് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ മെയിലിനെയും റേപ്പ് ചെയ്യപ്പെടുന്നുണ്ട് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ് വന്നു. അപ്പോൾ അതിന് നമ്മുടെ ഏറ്റവും ഫേമസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള മുതിർന്ന അഭിഭാഷകർ റെബേക്ക മാം ആണ് അതിനകത്ത് ഓപ്പറേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് പറഞ്ഞത്, അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ടൈം നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് വരികയാണെങ്കിൽ അത് തെറ്റായിട്ട് വ്യാഖ്യാനിക്കാനും സ്ത്രീകളെ കൂടുതലായിട്ട് അത് എന്താ പറയുക ആ ഒരു നിയമം വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ദുരുപയോഗം ചെയ്യാനും സാധ്യതയുണ്ട് എന്നൊരു കാര്യം പറഞ്ഞു. ശേഷം ഒരു ഫേമസ് ലോയർ പേര് ഞാൻ പറയുന്നില്ല, അദ്ദേഹം 2014 ആ സമയത്ത് പിന്നെയും ജനറൽ ന്യൂട്രൽ ലോസിന് വേണ്ടി, പക്ഷെ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ആ ഒരു പെറ്റീഷനകത്തുള്ള പ്രശ്നം എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ മെയിൽ റേപ്പ് കേസുകളാണ് ഫോക്കസ് ചെയ്തത്. സോ അവിടെയാണ് പ്രശ്നം വന്നത്. ഇത് വർമ്മ കമ്മിറ്റി ആണെങ്കിൽ പോലും വർമ്മ കമ്മിറ്റിയിലും നമ്മുടെ ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡറിനെ പറ്റി വന്നില്ല. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ വിശാഖ ഗൈഡ് ലൈൻസിനകത്തും ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റിനെ പറ്റി വന്നിട്ടില്ല. ആകെ ചുരുക്കി പറഞ്ഞാൽ ആകെ ഈ ഇത് കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റിക്ക് ആകെ ഉള്ളത് ഒരു സെക്ഷൻ 18 ക്ലോസ് D മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഇത് വെച്ച് എന്താ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുക എന്നുള്ള കാര്യം വളരെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുള്ള കാര്യമാണ്. പിന്നെ വേറൊരു കാര്യം എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ സർക്കംസ്റ്റാൻസിനെ പറ്റി ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു, ഞാൻ കോംപ്രമൈസ് ചെയ്യാൻ തയ്യാറില്ല എന്ന് പറയാൻ കാര്യം, ജൂനിയറായിട്ട് ഒരാഴ്ച കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ തന്നെ എനിക്ക് കിട്ടിയ ടെർമിനേഷൻ ലെറ്ററാണ്. അപ്പം ഞാൻ വിചാരിച്ചു ഇത് ഇനി എന്താ ചെയ്യാനുള്ളതെന്നുള്ള ഒരു ആലോചന ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ശേഷം കേസുകൾ ഫയൽ ചെയ്തു. ആസിഡ് വിക്ടിംസിന് വേണ്ടി ഞാൻ സ്ഥിരമായിട്ട് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് കോടതികളിനകത്ത് ഇത് സ്ഥിരമായിട്ടുള്ളൊരു സാന്നിധ്യമായിട്ട് മാറാൻ ദൈവം സഹായിക്കാൻ സാധിച്ചു. അതെനിക്കൊരു ഇതായിട്ട് കാണുന്നു. അപ്പം ഞാൻ വിചാരിച്ച കാര്യമാണ്, നാളെ ഒരു ലോയർ, അതൊരു ട്രാൻസ് വിമണോ ട്രാൻസ് മെന്നോ ആരും ആയിക്കോട്ടെ, അവർക്ക് ധൈര്യമായി കയറി വരാൻ ഒരു ഇടം വേണം. അതിനുവേണ്ടി ട്രാൻസ് ലോ അസോസിയേറ്റ് എന്നൊരു സ്ഥാപനം ആരംഭിക്കണം. അതാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഇത് പ്രയോറിറ്റി ആയിട്ടുള്ളത്. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ ഒരു ജനറൽ ന്യൂട്രൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു അവസ്ഥയായിരിക്കും ഞാൻ പ്രൊവൈഡ് ചെയ്യുക. സോ ധൈര്യമായിട്ട് മുന്നോട്ട് വരാൻ വേണ്ടി ഏതൊരു ട്രാൻസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളൊരു വ്യക്തി, മീൻസ് അവിടെ ഡിസ്ക്രിമിനേഷൻ ഒരു വേർഡ് ഇല്ല. ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത് എനിക്കുണ്ടായ ഒരു അനുഭവം എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ, ഒരു ഓഫീസിൽ ചെന്ന ശേഷം വളരെ മോശമായ രീതിയിലുള്ള ഒത്തിരി വാക്കുകൾ കേൾക്കേണ്ടതായിട്ട് വന്നു. അവസരങ്ങൾ കിട്ടാത്തൊരവസ്ഥയിലോട്ട് വന്നു. ഒരു ഫയൽ കാണുക എന്നല്ലാതെ ആ ഫയലുമായിട്ട് കോടതിയിൽ പോകാനൊരവസരം എനിക്ക് ഉണ്ടായിട്ടില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു റൂമിൽ അടച്ചിട്ടൊരുമാതിരി എന്താ പറയുക, ചില വീട്ടിലൊക്കെ പറയില്ലേ, എന്ന് പുതുപ്പെണ്ണിനെ കെട്ടിക്കൊണ്ട് വന്ന പോലെ ഓഫീസിലിരുത്തുക, നല്ലോണം അണിഞ്ഞൊരുങ്ങി കോട്ടൊക്കെ ഇട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ ഓഫീസിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കുക, രാവിലെ ഒരു വൈകുന്നേരം വരെ, വെളിയിൽ ഇറങ്ങാൻ പാടില്ല. ഇതാണ് അവസ്ഥ. അപ്പോൾ ഈ അവസ്ഥയിൽ ഒരു പണി എടുക്കേണ്ട, ഉച്ചയ്ക്ക് ഭക്ഷണം കഴിക്കുക, ഇവിടെ ഇരിക്കുക, ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു പുതുപ്പെണ്ണായിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരാഴ്ച ഇങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു അവസ്ഥയിലായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള അവസ്ഥകൾ നാളെ ഒരു ട്രാൻസ് വിമണോ ട്രാൻസ് മെന്നോ അഡ്വക്കേറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് വരികയാണെങ്കിൽ ഉണ്ടാവാൻ പാടില്ല. പിന്നെ പല ദുരനുഭവങ്ങളും ഉണ്ടാവുന്നൊരു ഫീൽഡാണ്, അതെല്ലായിടത്തും ഉണ്ട്, ഞാൻ പറയുന്നില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ധൈര്യമായി കയറി വരാൻ ഒരു ഓഫീസ് അവർക്ക് ആവശ്യമാണ്. അപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഒരു ഡ്രീമാണ് ട്രാൻസ് ലോ അസോസിയേറ്റ്. ധൈര്യമായി വരാം, അതിപ്പോൾ ആർക്കാണെങ്കിലും വരാം.
We are a bit short of time, so we have time for one more question.
Namshwaya. Actually, my question is an open question. In the beginning, like it is said that like all transgenders, lesbians, whatever, all of them are third parties. So what is the first and the second? And you said that like ma'am was beaten up for like behaving like a female. So what is actually a female supposed to behave like, and what is a male supposed to be behaving like? Is there a specific way that they should be behaving?
So also can I take the other question there, the last question? Yeah.
Why don't you also ask your question and then we'll open it.
So I think the man is raising a hand for a long time.
Can you hold for me? Yes. Okay, thank you, the organizers.
for the first time for me, seeing coming face to face with a transgender. So it's a big opportunity. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Like this is similar question that I had. Two similar questions, which is I've been hearing about lesbian, gay, now transgender. I'm thinking, what is there any difference, or is it that you get the feeling of being with the same sex that leads you to have that transgender perform on you, or what? Those are the things that I want to clarify. And the second thing is also, as a child, like we've been hearing, why is this boy behaving this way? Why is this girl behaving? So at that stage, as a parent, how will you know? I mean, what are the few basic signs that can tell you maybe this boy, your boy child or a girl, it's leading to such a thing, or will be in future will want to be part of the transgender community also? Those are the two clarifications that's doubting me. Thank you.
Hello. This is especially for Prithika ma'am. Sorry for misspelling you. There are so many heinous crime that's going on for transgender people. So like kidnapping and especially organ trading and those kind of stuff. So how you as a police officer can stop that?
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for the wonderful deliberations. I'm actually very much delighted to be an attendee of such a very important forum. My question goes to Prithika ma'am. Sorry. As a police officer, you've mentioned about equality and equity, which actually fascinated me very, very much, where you said giving shoes to everybody is equality, but again, giving everyone the right size of shoes is equity. Actually, then from there, we know that one size does not fit all. Okay, my question here is, what are some of the measures that are being taken by the Indian police to ensure equality and equity of women in service? Thank you very much.
Greetings to all the dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and my faculties and your friends. Ma'am, my name is Neha Jackson, and I'm doing my master's in social work. So my question is towards Advocate Padma Lakshmi. So my question is that, as a social worker, how can we reduce the rate of violence and discrimination towards the transgender individual, and how the law and order put effort on the topic?
ഇത് ഇപ്പോൾ നവഡേസിനകത്ത് ഒത്തിരിയായിട്ട് എന്താ പറയുക ക്രൈം റേറ്റ്സ് കൂടി വരികയാണ്. അത് നമുക്ക് ഏതൊരു ക്രൈം റേറ്റ്സും ഇപ്പോൾ റേപ്പ് ലോസ് ഡൽഹി ഇഷ്യൂ വന്നപ്പോഴാണ് നമുക്ക് വർമ്മ കമ്മിറ്റി റിപ്പോർട്ട് വന്നതും വർമ്മ കമ്മിറ്റി റിപ്പോർട്ട് പ്രകാരം നമ്മുടെ ലോസ് കുറച്ചും കൂടി ടൈറ്റാക്കി മാറുകയും സ്റ്റോക്കിങ്ങും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ 354A ബിയും സിയും 376 ആണെങ്കിലും അതിൻ്റെ സെക്ഷനുകൾ ഇങ്ങനെ സബ്ബായിട്ട് തിരിച്ച് വരികയൊക്കെ ചെയ്ത് വർമ്മ കമ്മിറ്റി വന്ന ആ ടൈമിലാണ്. സോ നമുക്കൊരു ഇഷ്യൂ വരുമ്പോഴാണ് നമ്മളെപ്പോഴും അതിനെ പ്രതിരോധിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി നിയമനിർമ്മാണത്തിന് വേണ്ടി പോകുന്നത്. അന്ന് ഡൽഹിയിൽ എത്രമാത്രം ഇഷ്യൂ ഉണ്ടായിട്ടാണ് അന്നത്തെ ഇത് പൊളിറ്റിക്കലായിട്ടുള്ള, അതായത് ഷീലാ ദീക്ഷിത് മാമൊക്കെ, അതായത് ആ ഒരു മന്ത്രിസഭയെ തന്നെ ശരിക്കും ബാധിച്ചൊരു പ്രശ്നമായിട്ട് അത് മാറി. അത്രമാത്രം അതൊരു സാമൂഹിക പ്രശ്നമായിട്ട് നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും ഉൾക്കൊണ്ടത് കൊണ്ടാണ് അവിടെ അത്രയും ഒരു മാറ്റം വന്നതും ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് വർമ്മ കമ്മിറ്റി വന്നതും. പക്ഷേ ഇവിടെ കോഴിക്കോട് ഷാലു എന്ന പെൺകുട്ടി കൊല്ലപ്പെട്ടിട്ട് യാതൊന്നും തന്നെ സംഭവിച്ചിട്ടില്ല. എല്ലാ വർഷവും ഒരു ആദരാഞ്ജലി പോസ്റ്റ് മാത്രമാണ് ഇടുന്നുള്ളൂ. അതുപോലെ ഓരോ ഇടങ്ങളിലും കൊല്ലപ്പെടുന്ന കുട്ടികൾ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കാണാതാവുന്ന കുട്ടികൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി ഒന്നെങ്കിൽ ഐ മിസ് യു അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഞങ്ങൾ നിന്നെ ഓർക്കുന്നു ആ ഒരു പോസ്റ്റിൽ മാത്രം ഒതുങ്ങുകയാണ്. ഇങ്ങനെ പോകുമ്പോഴുണ്ടാവുന്ന പ്രശ്നം എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇതൊരു എല്ലാവരെയും അങ്ങോട്ട് ബാധിക്കുന്നില്ല. ഇത് അന്ന് ആ ഒരു കേസ്, ആ ഡൽഹിയിലെ പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ കേസ് നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും ഒരുപോലെ ഏറ്റെടുത്തു. അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് യാതൊരു വ്യത്യാസമില്ല. നമ്മളൊരു ഹ്യൂമൻ ബീങ് ആയിട്ട്, ഹ്യൂമാനിറ്റി ആയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഒന്നിച്ചു നിന്നു. പക്ഷേ ഷാലുവിൻ്റെ കേസിലും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഓരോ കുട്ടികളുടെയും ഷാലുവിനെ അതായത് അതുപോലെ തന്നെ പല ഇടങ്ങളിനകത്തായിട്ടും കൊല്ലപ്പെടുന്ന ആളുകളുടെ ഒന്നും ആരും ചേർത്ത് പിടിക്കുന്നില്ല. ആ കേസ് അത് അവരങ്ങനെ നടക്കുന്നവരാണ്, അവർക്ക് അങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടാവുള്ളൂ എന്നുള്ളൊരു ചിന്തയാണ് ഉണ്ടാവുന്നത്. സോ അത്തരം ചിന്തകളാണ് നമ്മളെ ഒരു ഒന്നിപ്പിക്കുന്നില്ല. അങ്ങനെ നിന്നാൽ മാത്രമാണ് ഇവിടെ കുറച്ചും കൂടി കാര്യങ്ങൾക്ക് വ്യക്തത ഉണ്ടാവുള്ളൂ. ആ ഡൽഹി കേസ് പോലെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു വസ്തുത ഉണ്ടായിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മളൊന്ന് പ്രതികരിക്കുക. ഈവൻ എൻ്റെ പേഴ്സണൽ അനുഭവത്തിൽ നിന്ന് ഒരു സാമൂഹിക വിരുദ്ധൻ്റെ കയ്യിൽ നിന്നുണ്ടായിട്ടുള്ള മോശം ഒരു അനുഭവത്തിൽ ഞാൻ പ്രതികരിച്ചപ്പോൾ അവിടെ ഒരു മനുഷ്യൻ പോലും ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല എന്നെ ഒന്ന് സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പോലും. സോ നമ്മുടെ അവസ്ഥ ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ ആണെങ്കിൽ ആരും പ്രതികരിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യമില്ല, ആ വഴിയൊന്ന് മാറിപ്പോകുന്നത് നന്നായിരിക്കും എന്നുള്ള രീതി പലയിടങ്ങളിലും കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. സോ നമ്മൾക്ക് എല്ലാവരുടെയും റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റിയാണ്, നമ്മുടെ എല്ലാവരുടെയും പ്രൊട്ടക്ഷൻ, നമ്മുടെ സ്വന്തവും നമ്മുടെ ഒപ്പമുള്ള ഒരാളുടെ പ്രൊട്ടക്ഷൻ നമ്മുടെ തന്നെ ഒരു സിവിക് പേഴ്സൺ ചെയ്തിരിക്കേണ്ട ഡ്യൂട്ടിയാണ് പ്രൊട്ടക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ളത്. നിങ്ങളുടെ മുമ്പിൽ ഒരു പെൺകുട്ടീനെ മോശമായിട്ട് ആരെങ്കിലും ഉപദ്രവിക്കുന്നത് കണ്ടാൽ നിങ്ങൾ എന്താ ചെയ്യുക? നിങ്ങൾ ആരും റിയാക്ട് ചെയ്യില്ലേ? നിങ്ങൾ ആദ്യം ചെയ്യുന്നത് എന്തായിരിക്കും? ആരെങ്കിലും ഒരാളൊരു ആൻസർ ചെയ്യൂ. ഫസ്റ്റ് നിങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന കാര്യം എന്തായിരിക്കും? ഒരു റേപ്പ് അറ്റംപ്റ്റ് ആണ് നിങ്ങൾ കാണുന്നത്, നിങ്ങൾ എന്താ ആദ്യം ചെയ്യാൻ പോവാ? ഫസ്റ്റ് പക്ഷെ മറിച്ച് ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ടാവുന്ന ഡിഫറൻസ് എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ആദ്യം ഫോട്ടോ എടുക്കാനാണ് പോകുന്നത്, എന്നിട്ട് അത് ഫേസ്ബുക്കിലിടും. ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ കാണിച്ചു കൂട്ടുന്ന വിക്രിയകൾ കണ്ടോ എന്നായിരിക്കും പിറ്റേ ദിവസം വരുന്നത്. അവിടെ നടന്ന സംഭവം ഒന്നുമല്ല പിറ്റേ ദിവസത്തെ FBയിലും എന്താ പറയുക കുറേ യൂട്യൂബ് ബ്ലോഗേഴ്സും ഉണ്ട്, അങ്ങ് തോന്നിയ വാസം അങ്ങ് പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. എന്ത് വേണമെങ്കിലും പറയാം, ഒരു കുഴപ്പമില്ല. യൂട്യൂബ് ചാനലുണ്ടോ, എനിക്ക് എന്ത് തോന്നിയ വാസവും പറയാം എന്നാണ് ഇവിടുത്തെ ഒരു അവസ്ഥയിലോട്ട് പോകുന്നുണ്ട്. സോ നിയമം കുറേയും കൂടി കർശനമായിട്ട് മാറുന്നിടത്താണ് ഇതിനകത്ത് വ്യത്യാസം ഉണ്ടാവുള്ളൂ. അല്ലാത്ത പക്ഷം എന്ത് തോന്നിവാസം കാണിക്കാനുള്ള ഒരു അധികാരമായിട്ട് മാറുകയാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഒരിക്കലും ഒരു വ്യക്തിയും, അതായത് ഈക്വാലിറ്റിയാണ് നമ്മൾ ആർട്ടിക്കിൾ 40 പറയുന്നതെങ്കിൽ ഏതൊരു വ്യക്തിക്കും, അതിപ്പോൾ മെന്നോ വുമണോ ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡറോ ഏതൊരു ഹ്യൂമൻ ബീങ്ങിനും കിട്ടേണ്ട ഈക്വാലിറ്റി തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ പീപ്പിളിന് കിട്ടുക തന്നെ വേണം, അത് കിട്ടുക തന്നെ ചെയ്യും. അതിനു വേണ്ടിയുള്ള പ്രധാനമായിട്ടുള്ള പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ എന്തൊക്കെയാണോ അതിന് തന്നെ മുന്നോട്ട് പോകാൻ. കാരണം ഇതെനിക്ക് ഒരു ജോലി മാത്രമല്ല, ഇതിൻ്റെ ജീവിതമാണ്. സോ ഐ വിൽ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി ഫൈറ്റ് ഫോർ മൈ ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റീനെ മാത്രമായിട്ടല്ല ഞാൻ എന്ന വ്യക്തി പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്നത്. സോ എനിക്ക് എൻ്റെ ലൈഫിൽ ഡിസ്ക്രിമിനേഷൻ എന്നൊരു വേർഡ് ഇല്ല. സോ ഏതൊരു വ്യക്തിക്കും ധൈര്യമായിട്ട് എൻ്റെ ഓഫീസിലോട്ട് കടന്നു വരാമെന്ന് ഞാൻ എപ്പോഴും പറയാറുള്ളൂ. കാരണം അവിടെ ഡിസ്ക്രിമിനേഷൻ ഇല്ല. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി പൊരുതാൻ വേണ്ടി ഈ ജീവിതമുണ്ട്, അത് തീരുന്ന വരെ പൊരുതുക തന്നെ ചെയ്യും.
Okay, so human traffic, right? Okay, so in Tamil Nadu, actually, I had a lot of experience in the human trafficking cases, particularly. So, actually, 3 years back, 14 years old girl was kidnapped by her lover. So within 3 hours we'll find out, because we are working as a team, that's why we can easily track with her. So, but in reality, there are 7 crores population in Tamil Nadu people, okay? But the police personnel only 1,20,000 people only. So you just calculate that. ஸோ ஃபஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் நம்ம அங்கே உட்காந்துட்டு கொஸ்டின் ரைஸ் பண்ணுறது இட்ஸ் an ஈஸி ஜாப். பட் ப்ரொடக்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு இப்போ மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் the public persons want to be live as a luxury life. You know that? So the criminals are increasing day by day. Not only youngsters, in juveniles also, like 15 years, 16 years, 17 years, juveniles also increasing a day by day. It's a criminal system. Because of the reason their background was it's worst the time, so they are automatically involving the society against the criminals. சட்டன் சில கிரிமினல்ஸான சில விஷயங்கள்ஸ் இன்வால்வ் ஆகுறாங்க. ஸோ அப்போ ஆகும்போது என்ன அப்படின்னா, ஒன் ஆஃப் த சொசைட்டி ஆல்சோ இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் ரீசன் எதனால் இந்த விஷயங்கள் தொடர்ந்து நடந்துகிட்டே இருக்குது, இந்த ஹியூமன் டிராஃபிக்கிங் அப்படிங்கும்போது நம்ம ரியலைஸ் பண்ண பார்க்கும்போது, ஏன்னா மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த யங்ஸ்டர் என்ன அப்படின்னா லக்ஸுரி லைஃப் வாழ்கிறதுக்காகவும் அவங்களுடைய ஃபினான்ஷியல் சுச்சுவேஷன் ப்ளஸ் அவங்களுடைய ஃபேமிலி பேக்ரவுண்ட் நிறைய சுச்சுவேஷன்ஸில் வேரியேஷன் ஆகுது. ஸோ அப்போ என்ன பண்ணுறாங்க அப்படின்னா, ஏதோ ஒரு காதலி ஏமாத்துறதும் இல்லை காதலன் ஏமாற்றுறதும், இதில் ஏதாவது ஒரு கிரிமினல்ஸ் ஏதாவது ஒரு விஷயத்துக்காக இந்த மாதிரி கிட்னாப்ஸிங் நிறைய நடந்துட்டு தான் இருக்குது. பட் நாங்கள் நிறையா ட்ராக் பண்ணிக்கிட்டே தான் இருக்கோம் ஒவ்வொரு தடவையும் ஒவ்வொரு இன்சிடென்ட் நடக்கிறப்பையும். பட் சொசைட்டி நீங்கள் என்ன பண்ணணுன்னா, நீங்கள் செல்ஃப் கேர் செல்ஃப் அவேர் ரொம்ப ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். அதை ரொம்ப நீங்கள் டெவலப் பண்ணிக்கணும். ஏன்னா உங்களை யாரும் கடத்துகிற அளவுக்கு யூஆர் நாட் அம்பானி, யூஆர் நாட் ரத்தன் டாட்டா. பட் நீங்கள் செல்ஃபாக ஏதோ ஒரு காரணத்துக்காக ஏதோ ஒரு விஷயத்துக்காக நீங்கள் அதை க்ரியேட் பண்ணி வச்சுருக்கீங்க அந்த சுச்சுவேஷனை. அப்போது இந்த சொசைட்டியில் நீங்கள் பழகும்போது whenever you meet some person, ப்ளீஸ் நீங்கள் உங்களை செல்ஃப் கேர் பார்த்துக்கோங்க, உங்களுடைய செல்ஃப் அவேராக பார்த்துக்கோங்க. உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் எந்த பர்சன்ஸ் கிட்ட. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி சுச்சுவேஷன்ஸ்லாம் சம்டைம்ஸ் நாமளே அதை க்ரியேட் படுத்திக்கிறது தான். இதில் நம்ம அவேர்னஸாக இருந்தோம்னா இந்த கிட்னாப்பிங்களுடைய கேசஸை நம்ம மினிமைஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு நிறைய பாசிபிலிட்டிஸ் இருக்குது.
Professor, I feel so happy to be here today. First, because of Her Highness making a space for this issue. As part of the Global Summit _ civil society voices are here to represent the entire, I don't say it's nation, we belong to one world, and that one world that belongs to all of us. I think also the privilege of this panel, she comes from educational background, Akkai from a social activism, challenging the notion of society fighting background. We also have the law enforcement and the judiciary. So the system, here we can see this. If this is so, if this is system so, to occupy spaces, it's not too far for me. The question what you ask, and what's your name? Tejaswini, this is what we are doing since 25-30 years. Why should we conform what professor expects to be in certain manner of man, woman and transgender? And I don't want to do that. I want to be myself. And I want to make sure my society accepts the way I am today. The way today. Why? And the society is a problem. If you're skirt wearing, problem. Full sleeves, like Bharat Nari, there is a problem. White skin, black skin, problem. Eating meat, not eating meat, married, unmarried, everything problem. So why do we justify society's social construct? When I applied for passport, I was short hair. The passport authorities said, "Madam, you don't look like boy, you don't look like girl. Why don't you tick the box others?" So thank you so much for your suggestion. But what gender means to me, what I decide for myself, that is my gender, irrelevance of my attire and what I'm wearing today. It's a conflict between your sex and psychology. And today, the confliction between the judiciary, the executive and the legislature on the marriage equality petition, we are witnessing it today. So disappointing that the government's argument on deciding people's identity and people's autonomy is against my constitutional morality. But I don't want to compromise on it. So there is no first gender, no second gender, no third gender. Gender is fluid, gender is existence, gender is about how do we accept ourselves, how do we celebrate our identity. That is more important than 1, 2, 3 boxes. And we reject 1, 2, 3 boxes. You get it? On the grounds of that, is the difference between a gay man, lesbian and a transgender? Yes, there is a difference. I want to take this a minute to bring this education information What is sex? A child who is born with penis is a male child, vagina is a female child. Born with both sexes are referred as intersex child. What is the other part of the sex? The sexual performance you perform in your privacy. That could be masturbation, hugging, kissing, heterosexual perform their sexual pleasure or act and etc. I think sex is something called three letters, one beautiful word that should be decided by ourselves, including my parents have no business and my state has no business to intervene and see what is sex all about. What is gender? The social construct based on your sex that you're born with expects to be like doctor if you're a male. I hope you're a male doctor. If you're confirming that, I'm going my ahead. Male, grow your beard, mustache, be masculine, wear pant shirt, and be dominance. That the social construct expects. What is a woman? Today, who is a woman in this platform? I say, Professor is not a woman. Rakshita is not a woman. Prithika is not a woman. Advocate is also not a woman. And what is women means to this country? It's a contemporary that needs to be brought in this conversation. Women is not about piercing nose, piercing ears, growing long hair, cover whole body like me, be a Bharatanari. I think going back to what Professor was saying about the stories of Rama, how it was inclusive. But why today's 21st century is not inclusive? People refer Harihara Putra Ayyappa. I can challenge on the grounds. Hari is a man, Hara is a man. They're both having sexual encounter. Is it possible to have two men having sex for procreation? So these stories, Professor, are remaining as stories on the papers, but in practicality, why Prithika has struggled a lot? Why Advocate Lakshmi has struggled a lot? Why Rakshu has struggled a lot? Why Akkai has struggled a lot? Why did we lose Shalu? Such a powerful voice in the state of Kerala. So in that manner, why there is so much of discrimination, stigma, violence in a structure of system of society that we are speaking today? So the lesbian is different on the sexual orientation you prefer to. I cannot force my daughter Prithika to be a lesbian until she prefers to. What is sexuality? The attraction, the preference, the choice. These are the circumstances that comes before me, and I'm a heterosexual woman. You know, I adopted my baby Avin. I was married, legally registered marriage. I'm the first person to get my marriage registered. I'm the first person also to get my divorce as a person. So adopting a child, people ask me, okay, what is your child sex? What is your child gender? I say, let my child decide. I want to be a mother to ensure my child shall grow in such an environment and create an environment for just and a non-discriminatory world. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, ma'am. It's been an absolute privilege to have such an incredible panel discussion on transgender rights, and I'm sure you all have been enthralled by the diversity of perspectives and insights shared by our esteemed panelists. We have reached the end of this fascinating discussion on transgender rights, but before we wrap up this event, we want to take a moment to acknowledge our distinguished panelists who brought their expertise and experiences to the table, have been the driving force behind this event's success. So as a token of our appreciation, each guest will be presented with a special memento that symbolizes our gratitude towards them. So now I invite Dr. Bhavani Rao to present the mementos to Dr. Akkai Padmashali, to Advocate Padma Lakshmi, yeah, yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Also, yeah, too. Thank you, ma'am. Now I invite Dr. S.N. Jyoti, Associate Dean, School of Engineering, to present the mementos to Ms. K. Prithika Yashini. Also to Ms. Rakshida. Ma'am, also to Dr. Sundeep Vijayaraghavan. Thank you, everybody. So let's take a moment to honor them with a big round of applause. We also want to thank all the people who have attended this event and made it such an engaging and informative experience. Your presence and participation have been truly appreciated. It's been an enlightening and informative event. We hope that you have enjoyed our panel discussion on transgender rights. As the event draws to a close, we would like to take this opportunity to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all our esteemed guests and panelists who have graced us with their presence and share their insights with us. So now, to conclude the event, I would like to invite Dr. Sharon S., a student of S2MSW, to deliver the word of thanks.
Good afternoon all. On behalf of Amrita Vidyapeetham, VIDYUT 2023, VIDYUT Social Forum and Civil 20 India Gender Equality and Disability Working Group, I would like to express my sincere gratitude and thanks to all the panelists, moderator, deans of all schools, faculty members and audience for their valuable contribution towards making this event a grand success. Our esteemed panelists have shared their insightful thoughts and experience and have enriched our knowledge on the subject matter. Their expertise and passion have made us understand various aspects of the topic and broaden our perspective. We are grateful to our moderator for keeping the discussion on track and making sure that every participant had an equal opportunity to express their views. We would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the deans of all schools for their support and guidance throughout the planning and execution of this event. Our faculty members have played a significant role in making this event a grand success. Their hard work, dedication, and commitment have been crucial in making this event a memorable one. We would like to thank the audience for their enthusiastic participation and active involvement. Your questions and comments had made the discussion more engaging and thought-provoking. Last but not the least, we would like to thank GAD, ICTS, GR team, Executive Committee of Social Forum and all others who help us to make this program a grand success. Once again, we thank every one of you for your valuable contribution to this event. We hope that this event has been informative, enlightening and enjoyable for all of you. Thank you all and have a great day.
So can you all kindly rise to pay and show respect to Her Highness for this opportunity?
Absolutely. And congratulations to the students who thought of this idea and organized this program. Big round of applause to all of you. Very proud of you. But you can expect questions from this on your examination papers, okay?
All the best. We will be the sexologist teachers.
Otherwise, certificate will be hold on.
Once again, a massive thank you to everybody.